617-779-0985. I don't know why I got hot during that crossover there. Maybe it was because I sat here last night and saw a report that Drake May had an MRI on his knee. And not one person that I know, anyone that I know, not one person has confirmed the story with me. Now, nobody's denied it. The Patriots haven't denied it. But does Drake May have a knee injury or not? I know he was on the injury report. I actually haven't looked at today's because I've been stuck in traffic for the last hour. Maybe, Skaz, you'll know. Did Drake May pop up on the injury report again today with a knee injury and full participant and all that? And if this is a non-story, I'll stop. But this is the Patriots' third overall pick who played last week when it wasn't to plan. We're all happy because anything but Jacoby Brissett in, right? Anything but Jacoby Brissett.
Drake May was listed as a full participant.
With a knee.
With a knee.
Okay, he was. Same thing. So he has some sort of knee ailment. Something of a knee. And we're just going to carry on like it's no big deal. We're just going to carry on like playing Drake May, which wasn't their plan. He had some sort of knee ailment. Reportedly, from the Boston Globe, one man says that he had an MRI. No one's denied the MRI, but nobody else knows about this. So if it's a scoop, great, cool, great. I don't know if I buy it. He's just got a knee thing? Like, is this trying to be cute? Is this the Brady elbow thing or whatever it was for many years, shoulder, whatever? Drake May's on the injury. If people don't care about it, fine, I'll drop it. But like we did 3.5 hours of this last night. And today it's, yeah, he's fine. Don't worry about it. He's all good. And then everybody down there today is like, yeah, no brace. Walking around fine. So there's no story here? There's nothing there. There's just nothing there with that one. So we're just going to move on? Everyone's cool with moving on. There's no story here? Feel free to jump in if you'd like. 617-779-0985. You can also join us on YouTube tonight, youtube.com/985 The Sports Hub. You can join the chat if you'd like. I tried to get into Jaguars, Patriots, and some of the ways that the Patriots can go at the Jaguars. And I think where you can attack them certainly is their secondary. I think they've struggled in their secondary. They're giving up 29 points a game. And the Patriots, can they stop anybody? Like, I'm glad to see that Marcus Jones wasn't on the injury report today because I was going to say they're very short there. Well, at least he practiced today. I know yesterday he didn't. But there's a lot of talent on that Jacksonville side of the field. There's a lot of talent over there. They're 1-5. They're better than that record.
And Marcus Jones was a limited participant.
He was limited.
A groin and an illness.
Who would go in after him, Skaz? You got Jonathan Jones on one side, and you have Christian Gonzalez on the other. Who would it be? Marco Wilson?
Oh, yeah, your guy Marco.
Isaiah Bolden? Like, Gabe Davis hasn't had a good year, but he would have a big day. He's had big days against the Patriots before. We'll get into all that. Was there an MRI? If the kid got hurt playing in the previous game, it was a bad move for playing him. Will the team inform us of anything? I'm concerned. I am concerned. What happened at practice today? Everything was fine. Nothing to see here. Walking around, no brace. Okay. Just going to get on a long flight to London. No problem. He'll be fine. Everything's fine. Now I want to know how they protect this kid. How do they protect this kid? They did a lot of play action last week. They going back to that? What are you going to do without your left tackle again? Are you going to move people around again? Is it going to be 6-7 weeks in a row of different offensive linemen? How do you protect Drake May? And is anybody at all concerned that the kid might have a knee injury or something to his knee? Your thoughts at 617-779-0985. I'll stop if I have to. Skaz? Am I wrong here? The third overall pick that everybody said don't play. Let him watch. They then let him play and he hurts his knee, but there's nothing to see here. And one guy's reported there's been an MRI. Nothing to see here, Skaz.
I think your concerns are very valid, Joe.
Tell me I'm overreacting. Please. When Drew Bledsoe, years ago, hit his hand off some guy's helmet, he put a pin in it and he played. One time he didn't play, Zolak did, and they beat the 49ers. We all freaked out all week long about it. All week long. But the number 3 pick, when they stink, we're not going to care about this? 617-779-0985. Drake, but nothing to see here on the injury report with a knee. Nothing. Nope, all good. Looks good on my end. No problem here. No problem at all. We're here all night. Till 10 o'clock. 617-779-0985. We've loaded up the phone lines. We'll hear from you guys next on 98.5 The Sports Hub.
Don't go anywhere. There's more Joe Murray. On the way. Joe Murray on the Sports Hub.
Yeah, for a guy like Drake or really any other player, you want to see him get better in practice. And then obviously you get to the game, you want to see the confidence. You want to build off the things from the previous game or the prior game and just continue to, erase the mistakes that he made in this past game.
When you talk about starting fast, specifically offensively, Drake, will there be any consideration moving forward to just try to maybe get him some easy throws to start out to sort of get him into the rhythm of the game? How'd you feel like the early portion of the game plan went for him this past week?
Well, the past week, we had those run plays. I would also say it was the first time that a rookie quarterback, making his first start, center really being here 5 days, that was part of it. But I think you guys, as you watched the film, he got better as the game went on, and that was important to see. And so once again, hopefully we can build off of that.
All right, back here, 98.5 The Sports Hub. That's head coach Gerard Mayo. Waiting to hear from him on this Drake May knee thing. Yeah, ho-hum, nothing to see here, Hey, Joe, stop being a drama queen. Nah. I'll just enable people with shady sources. I'll enable it, right? Just ho-hum, nothing to see here. That's all. Okay. Yeah. Because, Scott, I'll tell you right now, I'm not a source guy. People just text me. You can just text me. I'm not going to give out my number, but you got something, just text me. I'll say it. I won't say your name. I don't have sources. Just text me.
You've almost given out your number before.
Oh, yeah. That's another thing. Do you know your own phone number? Like, sometimes,
Yes, Joe, I know.
No, but
I know my own phone number.
Do you really call people? Don't you just say call Skaz?
I don't know anyone else's phone number, yeah.
Oh, Joe, you're being a drama queen. Blah. Okay, Drake May, the savior of the franchise. The savior that everybody loved last week. Oh, it's so great. On the injury report with a knee injury, but yeah. All's good here. Let's just enable it. Let's just, he looks fine at practice. It's all good. Okay. That's what you want to do. We'll do it. 617-779-0985. Charles in the car. Hey, Charles.
Hey. Can you hear me? Can you hear me good?
I can hear you, yeah.
All right, awesome. So, I just have a couple of guys that I'd like to see the Patriots take a flyer on. One is left tackle by the name of Antonio Smith. He protected Brady's blind side and also protected Patrick Mahomes' blind side. He's currently a free agent. He's 31 years old. And there's another gentleman by the name of Mason Cole who plays guard and center. He's also quality body that we could definitely get in, because what we have right now is nothing but trash, except for the right side of the line. So if we were to get those two guys, we could try to see if they could possibly protect Drake and let us see what he can do.
Only thing I'll say about that kid Cole is he can play guard and center, but with Cole Strange coming back, I don't think they're going to spend the money. Smith, I think he's just waiting for someone to fall and get some money for the rest of the year guaranteed. I don't know. We'll get into this a little bit later in the show here, but this might be the time of year where you take flyers on guys at the trade deadline. I was just kind of joking about the Jaguars yesterday. Like, hey, if they happen to lose, would they be interested in Christian Kirk or a Gabe Davis or someone like that? What's Dearness Johnson doing? I'm sure he could get some yards here with the Patriots. So we'll get into that coming up in a little bit. Alex Van Pelt said today that they, as far as Drake May playing this week, nothing to see here. He also says early on the team didn't see much on Kayshon Boutte as a starting wide receiver. Quote, he continued to work, and the biggest thing with Boutte is how he approached practice. He really put the hard hat on and did the great work. And I just pushed back in saying, well, Kayshon Boutte was this blue chip at LSU. At one point was in the same conversation as Jamar Chase as far as recruits go. Had some setbacks at LSU. And then last year actually was okay with the team, but had that, the toe incident in game one and made some plays. And then the gambling thing happened and hung around. And somehow that got dismissed. I don't know how that got dismissed, but whatever. But the Patriots' two best wide receivers right now are Kayshon Boutte and Douglas. 6th-round picks. But these guys didn't envision Kayshon Boutte of potentially being a starter. So why do I care about their evaluations anymore? Like, they want, basically, he was on the verge of getting cut until you saw more from him. You didn't have the upside. You didn't see it there. The Patriots did. Bill Belichick did, who drafted him. Not Van Pelt though. And we'll get into the Jalen Polk stuff in a little bit. Your thoughts, 617-779-0985. Ethan's in Shrewsbury. Hey, Ethan.
Hey, what's up, Joe?
Hey.
I just wanted to give you your flowers, man, because you've been on this show since August preaching that this team, it's not the coaching, which I think does kind of play a part considering they're all like first years pretty much. But this team, from the get-go, has not been ready for the season at all. Like, I don't understand how you could look at this roster along with the schedule and say, yep, we're going to get 6 wins this year. And that's like being very generous. And I don't understand how people even thought that that would be the case. Along with that, please keep pounding this Drake May story, man. I don't understand how this is being overblown and like not being brought up. This kid is our future. This season's a wash, which I hate to say because I am against those kind of teams and organizations. But this season is a wash. You are focused now on Drake May and the future and his development. And now he got his knee hurt last week because you want to put him in against a top, 6 defense. That's so insane to me.
Wow.
And just goes to show that the organization just wants, the fans to come out.
Oh, well, Ethan, I mean, thank you. I'm glad you understand what I'm saying here. You know, just to throw this out there, it sounds like there's urgency in the Patriots locker room right now. They want to make changes to starters, right? Guys who are freelancing, they want to teach them a lesson this week. They're going across seas to London. Playing Drake May is somewhat of an urgent move. Like, they didn't want to go 1-5. So that's why they made the move. I don't know. Alex Van Pelt's job might be on the line. I don't think Gerard Mayo's is, but at this point, does he look like a qualified head coach in the league? No. But could some jobs be on the line? Yeah. And I just see the urgency, and now it's, they played him in a game, and he's on the injury report, but he's fine, right? Okay, cool. Yeah. All right. Cool. Let's just enable it. Nothing to see here. Nothing. I'm watching. I'm going to be watching his leg all day long, both legs, because he's got beautiful knees. We noticed that last night. Drake May has beautiful knees. Beautiful. Now I'm watching. I just want someone else to confirm besides Volin. That's all. Scoops. I'm like, yeah, right. Give him credit. Sure. Go ahead. Topher's in Reading. Hi, Topher.
Hi, Joe.
I got spicy.
Dude, the ending of of your pregame was the spiciest I've ever seen coming into your show. Oh my God, it made me. I was laughing, driving down 95, laughing my rear end off. It was great. By the way, Dr. Nick in Springfield has confirmed that Drake May has an issue.
Oh yeah, you know him.
Yeah. He's got those weird commercials. He's that guy.
Yeah, I know who he is.
Everybody knows him. All serious, though, if one guy's calling this, okay, I'm hoping you continue like the previous caller said, because right now, Mayo is backwards, dude. I can't. There's just something about him. Van Pelt seems completely clueless half the time. And most of the press conferences you even listen to, they're backtracking from the beginning of the season till now. And between you and a couple of the guys I've heard, you've all stated The O-line stinks. The Patriots aren't going to go anywhere. They'll be lucky to have 3 wins anywhere. And look at them, 1-5. And they're going up against another 1-5 team in London.
Urgency. It's like, all right, he's a knee on the injury report, but, it's fine. He can play, Just we got to worry about our jobs, not the future of this kid. Don't worry about it.
I won't be surprised if this is a one-and-done year between Mayo and company out the door.
I wouldn't either. And is that good for Drake May either, Topher? Having multiple offensive coordinators again? Was that good for Mac Jones?
As long as you're not bringing Steve Belichick to be the offensive coordinator next year.
Yes, that's a good comparison. Thank you, Topher. Appreciate you. Imagine Steve Belichick coming back to the league, but he wants to be an offensive coordinator. Yeah, that would be. All right, everyone. All right, everyone's fine with it. I just got someone who said, "Oh, nothing worse than the bubble wrap crowd." No. Drake May gives the Patriots the best chance to win, but he's going to play now because there's urgency all of a sudden after going 1-5 and jobs are on the line. But, on the injury report with a knee, but there's nothing to see here. Nothing to see here. We'll continue this conversation. And the Bruins played last night. I was here till 11:15. Watched it, hit a couple of bets. Ooh, speaking of bets, we got a couple of games tonight, huh, guys? We got Thursday night football in the NFL, and we got college football tonight. Boston College heads to Blacksburg. Ooh, I might even go back in time for a minute. We'll have all that tonight. I'm Joe Murray right here on 98.5 The Sports Hub.
Sports Hub headlines.
All right, Patriots preparing for their game on Sunday with the Jaguars. Drake May back at practice today, not seen with a limp or a brace, but still on the injury report as a full participant with a
98.5 The Sports Hub.
2.2 seconds left. Face off to Korpisalo's right. Bruins have it. And the horn will sound to end a 5-3 Bruins victory as they get back above the 500 mark with a win here in Colorado and drop the Avalanche to 0-4 on the season.
The Sports Hub. I'm Joe Murray. Bruins win last night. Their best performance of the year, some would say. It certainly was a power play showcase. They certainly took advantage of those power plays last night. 5 of the game's 8 goals between the two teams came on the man advantage. But I did think it was a tough-nosed night, like overall. Like we saw Zadorov get into it, right? Marchand left for a little bit. And we'll get into Korpisalo in just a little bit as well. But, you know, Charlie Coyle lit the lamp last night for the first time this year. He's, you know, in transition. They're still trying to find someone else on that wing. But nice little power play goal in the first period. And if you were following along last night, I had 3 anytime goal scorers last night. One of them, Charlie Coyle, ring the bell, plus 400. 400. David Pastrnak also lit the lamp last night. He had the game winner, if you remember, against the Kings, and then got his, there you go, 4th goal of the season for Pastrnak. And then my long shot last night, which we're going to do later on tonight when it comes to football, I went with who would be a long shot to score a goal? I want something greasy, you know? So I went Hampus Lindholm. Boom! Plus 750 Lindholm. I had a couple points, right? Goal and an assist for the Bees last night. And getting contributions from that 4th line, which continues to just be their best line right now. Kastelik, Kepke, right? You saw my guy Tufty in, a couple others there last night. The team overall, though, there's been some sloppy penalties, and they look slow. And I do think that Jim Montgomery called them out after their loss the other night. He seems to do that, and people respond. That's the one thing I like about him. When he does call someone out, whether it's McAvoy. I'm trying to think of who else. He called out somebody else last year, too, and they kind of rose to the occasion. I mean, even Lysell this offseason, during training camp, he was like, I didn't see much about him. Then he came out and played really well. The same with Georgi Merkulov. But the team's slow. They're still a little bit sloppy. Lots of penalties. I do think the addition of Lindholm and Zadorov, at least you've seen what both can bring to the table. Lindholm got at least the scoring early. You know, when these guys get traded or when they sign free agent deals, they want to make an impact right away. He didn't have a slump or anything like that. So he did score in his first game or so and is assisted. So he's still acclimating there, but for the most part, as expected. Same with Zadorov. The penalties are there. The big body stuff is there. The mistakes are there. He has been as advertised. But they needed it. They absolutely needed it. So as far as the upgrades goes, Lindholm, Zadorov so far have been very good. But it's been the other parts. I don't know what's going to happen. Does Patra end up going to the second line? Do they just bring up Lysell one day? Does someone else kind of break through? A Beecher type? I'm just thinking of somebody else that can take that next step. But they did win last night without Jeremy Swayman. Korpisalo was horrible in his first game. And everyone made mention of that. But for Korpisalo last night, you saw improvement, right? And, I thought he stunk. He performed better than I expected. How about that one? And he saw a ton of shots. I know Hampus Lindholm said that he was really good last night. He thought he was good. And he thought he was on. But Korpisalo stopped 22 of 25 shots in the win last night. Of course, all 3 goals came on the power play. So the Bruins didn't help him at all. He might be better than we think. I still think, obviously, Swayman's the guy, and they had to do the deal and all that. But I've immediately said that the Bruins can't be as good as they were last year for the simple fact that Ullmark's not here. If Korpisalo can do what he did last night, team is going to be just fine this year. But, the identity of the team has been goaltending and goaltending depth. You had it before. Can Korpisalo continue that? So more performances like last night certainly will make Bruins fans feel good about that. 617-779-0985. That's the phone number if you want to jump aboard. Started the show off just saying Drake May's knee injury. Nothing to see here. Everyone's okay with it. It's all good. I mean, hey, he's just going to go on a flight to London. No big deal. Play this weekend. Sounds like there's some urgency going on at Gillette Stadium, if you ask me. Sounds like maybe some jobs are on the line, not just on the coaching staff. I mean, I think Alex Van Pelt could be removed for Ben McAdoo. I've been claiming that for now 2 weeks. But could other players' jobs also be at risk? Yesterday, I mentioned Keon White. Could they do something on their offensive line? All that on the table as long as your Bruins calls as well at 617-779-0985. Coming up, we will revisit something that I feel like is all we have these days is looking back. So we'll do that coming up in just a bit. But let's talk to Brian. He's in Fitchburg. What's going on, Brian? You're on the Sports Hub.
Hey, Joe. What's going on, buddy? How you doing?
Hey, man.
Hey, before I get to my feature take, wife was sick today, so she tells me to come home and grab something for dinner. Grab something different. I grabbed some chicken breasts from Market Basket, a bottle of Scrupolo peanut butter whiskey, marinated it in the peanut butter whiskey. It came out fantastic on the grill tonight.
And it was on the grill?
It was on the grill.
Wow, are there lines like from the grill on there too?
There was.
That's the best.
So on Johnny Beecher, I think you're seeing him emerge as a pretty good two-way center, but it's great that he no longer has stiffs on his line. That kid Kostelic and Kemke seem to be pretty good guys that are finishing checks also. Not last year's fourth line that was just useless and in and out. Love your show. You're the best, Joe.
Appreciate it, man. Beecher. I know Ryan Johnson had a one-on-one with him during pregame last night. But I think that's what this team is a bunch of other, they have guys that have secondary scoring ability, still run off those top two lines. Hey, the fourth line's doing really well right now. It's great. They need more. And the other guy that I bet that I lost the bet on, which I'll do that little pat on the back as well because I lost that one. Brad Marchand. I think we're seeing an aging Brad Marchand. Maybe we have been seeing an aging Brad Marchand. But he got physical on Monday. Last night certainly got in on the action. When's he going to score a goal? I feel like he's been stuck on that 401, 402 for a long time now. Long time. Going to need a little bit more out of Marchand going forward. All right, we'll get into something that happened many years ago that you all would like to hear, to reminisce, or it might bother you and make you mad. We'll do it on the other side. I'm Joe Murray here on 98.5 The Sports Hub.
More Joe Murray coming up on The Sports Hub.
Miller still waiting for his first pitch. Roberts is going. Posada's throw. Roberts. Safe. Up the middle. Roberts will come to the plate. The throw by Williams. Bill Miller has tied it. Ortiz into deep right field. Back is Sheffield. We'll see you later tonight.
All right, back here on 98.5 The Sports Hub, I'm Joe Murray. Just in case you needed a reminder, 20 years ago today, 20 years ago today, the Red Sox were down 3-0. They lost 19-8 to the New York Yankees. The season where they got Curt Schilling and Keith Folk, and their starting rotation went the entire year not missing a start. They obviously traded Nomar Garciaparra during the season as well. They became a better defensive team, but they had a spark, and after losing in 2003, completely reloaded, and somehow we're down 3-0 to the New York Yankees. I'm going real old-time baseball here. So, just give it to me for like 5 minutes if you could. This is all we have now when it comes to the Red Sox. This is all we have now is looking back at the old days. We're going to reminisce about 2004 and then 2007 and then 2013. And then when it's 2028 and 2038, we're going to talk about the 2018 team as that was the last team. That's what we're going to do. But it was 20 years ago today. I know where I was. I was at a friend's house in Middleborough, Massachusetts, Skaz, and Woods Pond. And we all had the TV on. Nobody wanted to watch it. You had to keep it on, but you knew it was just bad. But it was kind of like you've gone this far, so you need to hang around. And it's 4-3, Mariano Rivera on the mound. You know. But you know how, like, when you're really sad, you just want to watch it burn and go down? Kind of like the Titanic, Remember the guy that was the captain? He's just poured a drink and just like, I'm going down. Here we go. That was Red Sox fans in 2004. And yes, it might be overrated, the Dave Roberts steal. The Bill Miller hit to tie the game. The game went into extra innings. The Red Sox could have lost with Curtis Leskanik on the mound in the 11th inning, but they didn't. David Ortiz became David Ortiz. It was all real. It all happened. And it started 20 years ago today. Now, I just sent this to you guys in Slack, but you guys will remember this. Before the game, Kevin Millar was talking to our good friend, Dan Shaughnessy, Boston Globe. And Kevin Miller made one of the boldest proclamations in Red Sox history.
Well, let me tell you, don't let us win today.
Okay.
Then we got PD tomorrow. Then we got Shield Game 6.
Okay, that's a start.
In Game 7, anything can happen. We can have you out there.
It's true. That was Dan Shaughnessy, who called them frauds. Literally. Millar read the article, went up to Shaughnessy, went up to him. Oh, you call those frauds? Hey, don't let us win one. Don't let us win one. It was the rallying cry. It's what they needed. They had nothing to lose except everything. How could you forget it? It was 20 years ago today. 20 years ago, the Red Sox were the best team in baseball. From hypothetically 04-14. They won 3 championships. It could have been 4. The ownership group, you respected. Every year they went out and battled with the Yankees. Every year. When you look at it now, the Yankees are 2 wins away from going to the World Series, while the Mets also will be, and the generational player that they got in their system, Mookie Betts, is going for another championship with the Dodgers. Anything else to add there, Skaz?
I've seen this kind of floated around with the Yankees doing well. I know they're not doing so great tonight, but are you someone that believes the Yankees winning could still motivate John Henry? It was something that I know was a big storyline early on in his ownership tenure but the Yankees haven't won anything since 2009, and I know the 10 offseason class wasn't great. They went crazy in 11. It backfired, but they did go crazy. So are you someone that falls into that camp where the Yankees winning could actually, be something that motivates John Henry?
I think it was Larry Lucchino. I think it was Larry. Do I think it could? It would help us put more pressure on him, right? But does Henry even care? Does Henry listen? Actually, the Rafael Devers thing got done, right, because of a fan cry? Right? Didn't he listen to the fans on that one? I'm not saying root for the Yankees, but if they did win, something's got to motivate that guy, right? Certainly motivated Larry Lucchino. Rest in peace, our good friend. All right, we'll get to the top of the hour here. No commercials. We'll get into more Patriot stuff. Jobs are on the line this week. Let's get to the headlines here. I'm Joe Murray.
WBZ-FM and HD Boston. Patriots! From the opening kickoff to the final play.
Touchdown!
Your home of the pass. 98.5. The Sports Hub. Beasley Media Group Station. Sports Hub headlines.
All right, Patriots preparing for their game on Sunday in London with the Jacksonville Jaguars. Jags are there. Patriots plan on leaving tomorrow. Drake May back out on practice, was still on the injury report today with a knee injury, but he was a full participant. Nothing to see there, though. Nothing. Vidarian Lowe, he's been downgraded to out. He had an MRI, said Gerard Mayo, and came back as expected, an ankle sprain. So that's the deal with him. Thursday night football tonight, 2 rookie quarterbacks, Bo Nix, Spencer Rattler. Broncos, Saints. College football, Boston College visits Virginia Tech. BC, 7.5-point underdogs tonight. And at the baseball playoffs, Yankees trail 2-1 right now. Looks like the 6th inning. Later on tonight, Mets and Dodgers. Dodgers up in that series. Actually, that series tied up 2-1. The Yankees up 2-0 at the moment. Headlines, they are brought to you by Hub International, New England, the region's largest insurance broker. Hub offers the widest possible range of options in personal insurance from the companies like Safety Insurance. Call 833-GO-CALL-HUB, 833-GO-CALL-HUB, or visit them online at gocallhub.com. I'm Joe Murray. Your next update soon.
To us, Boston pride runs deep.
I'm a Bostonian!
This is Boston's home for sports.
Bow, bow, bow!
98.5, the Sports Hub.
Who are you yelling? Well, I will say this, there will be changes for this game. And so my message to the coaches and the players, really, we want our most dependable players out there that we can really count on. If you're going to, pre-snap, post-snap penalties, we can't live that way. So I guess to answer your question, it's the personnel part of it, like a wake-up call.
On that start period, is that the top offense versus top
It is. Yeah, we did it the last couple of weeks, which, hopefully, obviously didn't produce what we wanted to, but maybe through doing it again, it'll work.
Gerard, when you mentioned changes this week, just to clarify, does that mean in the starting lineup, or what are those changes?
Yeah, there'll definitely be changes in the starting lineup. look, we got to put the best guys out there that give us the best chance to win.
All right, back here at 98.5 The Sports Hub. That was Patriots head coach Gerard Mayo. Is it a wake-up call this week? Jobs could be on the line. By the way, we're going to talk with Steve Buchanan of DraftKings coming up next. Get some thoughts on maybe some baseball, maybe some NFL this week, and who knows? We'll talk to Steve from DraftKings coming up in just a little bit. The phone number here is 617-779-0985. We'll get to your calls in a second here. Just wanted to mention these changes that are ahead. This from Andrew Callahan of the Boston Herald. Patriots are making more changes after Drake May. So who's up next? Number 1, the future's here. Number 2, the present isn't good enough. For 5 games, Jacoby Brissett took his marching orders, protected the football, and played it safe, and marched past mediocrity. So in comes Drake May now. But where could they make moves? And one of the things this week regarding Jalen Polk this week has had itself an interesting week. I got to admit this one. Said some things that I didn't love, but at the same time, I think he's a confident kid who had great success in college. His wide receivers coach is on the Patriots staff. But Gerard Mayo mentioned Jalen Polk getting over the mental hump, which I understood. 5-6 games into the league, he's going to get over the hump. Happens with everybody. Well, Polk didn't like that. He came back, I don't have mental problems. He also said he believes he has the best hands in the league. He doesn't think that his drops were an issue. 2 drops on 23 targets this year. Wasn't in bounds on a touchdown. 2 drops last week. Be accountable, bro, will ya? Polk also said he's limited on what he can do at the moment. Which makes me wonder, is that calling out the scheme? Is that a guy that might not play as much this week? And that's exactly what we heard. Less reps for Jalen Polk. By the way, did you know that Jalen Polk has really good numbers when it comes to separation? Really good numbers. So I hope his confidence isn't shaken after all this, because he's definitely been criticized publicly. And you know how that works for rookies now. You can do that. When this stuff starts getting public, they don't like that. Polk, I feel like I'm limited at what I can really do right now. Just continue to keep a good mindset and getting better. When asked to clarify, Polk responded, I wouldn't say anything specific. I'll just say I'm limited on certain things right now. You think about that one, Skaz?
I think Polk might feel like he's being played out of position. I've seen a lot of that speculation on Twitter.
Because he played slot last year. But really, if you look at it, and Barth brought this up to me, he played more X than he did slot last year.
So do you think there's anything to he's frustrated with the way the Patriots are utilizing him?
How are they utilizing him?
Well, and another thing you said, too, is that they don't like it when do we know that they don't like when rookies talk out? We knew Belichick didn't like it.
Belichick did not like it.
I heard Bert, I don't know if you heard it earlier today, he told the Brandon Merriweather story about how Merriweather was covering Welker in practice, and he called Welker the best slot receiver in the NFL when Merriweather was a rookie because they were playing him at corner. And Bill put the quote on the board the next day and said, how could you possibly know that Wes Welker is the best slot receiver in the league? You haven't played anybody yet. And Merriweather didn't talk to the media until December or something like that after that. So we know Belichick didn't like it when rookies, spoke out. But do we know that about this new regime?
Well, I don't know. Like,
it's kind of my problem, Joe. What do we know? What do they know? Because I have no idea what they know down there.
The whole season's a chunky.
Some big-time chunky vibes in Foxborough.
There's a lot of chunkies going on, and for those that don't mean it, that means what do you do? Nobody knows what you do. What do you do? It's annoying. What do you do here? Driving me crazy. So, I mean, you have 2 ex-receivers right now in Booty, Bourne, and now Polk once in the mix. Yet Polk played slot last year and made it to the national championship game. So how are they using him? I don't know. Does he want to be the X that goes deep? What does he want to do? What are you limited at, sir? And I'll just throw this out there. Kayshon Boutte said in postgame last week, as I saved the cut, Kayshon Boutte says we need to be more aggressive early on. So do the wide receivers feel like they're not aggressive? Do the wide receivers feel like they're too conservative? Do the wide receivers not like Alex Van Pelt? You got that?
Kayshon, do you feel like you guys were aggressive enough offensively early in the game? It felt like it sort of took a little while for you guys to start pushing it down the field, as you described.
I would say the past couple of weeks we've been starting slow, so I feel like we're not aggressive enough as we're supposed to be, and I feel like we just need to be more aggressive, like you said. I feel like times where we are aggressive, the ball's actually moving and we're getting places.
Oh, I saved that on Sunday because I knew it would be juicy. Oh, Kayshon Boutte, who, by the way, Alex Van Pelt surprised, didn't think he could be a starting wide receiver in the NFL. Now I'm starting to wonder about his scouting ability. Bill Belichick did, though, right? But it's all Bill's fault. Remember, the roster issues are Bill Belichick's fault. Remember that. But yet you couldn't evaluate a guy that can actually beat a man one-on-one down the sideline. Let's talk to Gino. He's in the car. What's up, Gino?
Hey, Joe. How we doing? So I listen to 98.5 almost every single day, and there have been some talks about how the Patriots defense doesn't really get let off the hook with a lot of things. But I look at it, and I just want to know, like, what defense wouldn't struggle when they lose some of their 3 best players? Like, they lose Peppers, they lose Barmer, they lose Bentley. Like, I mean, look at the Dallas Cowboys. They lose Parsons, Lawrence, and Bland, and they're struggling. I don't want to excuse them for the walk-in touchdowns or big plays, but I do think they are depleted, and when they're at full health, they will become a strength once again on this team.
All right, you said you listen to 98.5 all day?
Yeah, I listen to all day this morning through my work.
Did you hear that Kayshon Boutte quote anywhere else?
Oh, no, actually, I have not. I'm sorry. It's kind of background noise, but no, I didn't see that quote, or I didn't hear that quote until today.
Thank you. So you heard it on this show here.
Thank you.
Thank you, Gino. No, thank you. Just want to make sure. You heard it here first. So the Patriots wide receivers feel like they're not aggressive enough. Who does that fall on? Would that be Alex Van Punt? Alex Van Penalty? Alex Van Conservative? Doesn't rhyme, but you know what? Alex Van Aggressive, maybe, this week versus Jacksonville. Your thoughts at 617-779-0985. We're going to talk to Steve Buchanan. He is of DraftKings. And I don't know if we're going to do video on this one or call. We'll find out. So we'll take a quick break here. And I got picks for you coming up in just a little bit. And we'll ask Steve what he thinks on some of these games as well. You can follow us on YouTube. Just go to youtube.com/985 The Sports Hub, and you can join the chat. I see some people in there already. Carrie Ann in Seattle. Angry Turnips in there. Brian is in there. See a lot of people. Russ Fox. Got 85 people watching right now. Join the fun, everybody. Join the fun. Come on and hang out with us on YouTube tonight. And Jessica Pontbrand wanted a shout out. So shout out to you, Jessica. All right, I'm Joe Mario. We'll talk to Steve Buchanan next here on 98.5 The Sports Hub.
Don't go anywhere. There's more Joe Murray. On the way on 98.5 The Sports Hub. Patriots.
You were on last time on video, and well, we did some upgrades, and now we're full force over here. I know you do it all. I don't want to box you into just one, baseball or whatever, because we'll talk it all tonight. But Skaz asked a question earlier. It's got really nothing to do with betting, but I wanted your opinion on it.
Okay.
Do you think it would be good for the Red Sox or Red Sox fans if the Yankees won the championship?
Oh, I would like to think that many years ago that this would be maybe that extra oomph that the front office needs to actually do something and do something resourceful. I don't know if that's the case anymore. I don't think that's the case anymore, Joe. I think it would just be like, well, whatever. Hey, there's a middle reliever. Let's get him. I think that's kind of how it's going to go, even if the Yankees win or lose. That's kind of how it feels like right now, because they want to keep blowing all this smoke up our you-know-what. Oh, this offseason is going to be different. We're going to spend. I need to see it first. There's a lot of good free agents on the market this upcoming offseason, Joe. Let's grab one of those guys, like a Max Fried or a Jack Flaherty. Then I'll start to believe it again. But I don't think that's going to mean much of anything.
Yeah, I just thought maybe there's something in there that if the Yankees won, John Henry and their group would be like, can't let that happen again, like the Lucchino days. So I wanted to ask, because in a way I have like this rooting interest for the Yankees. I think it's good for baseball if they win. Yankees-Dodgers would be elite. Like, it really would be. How do you see this thing shaping up in both series? Right now, Yankees trail Cleveland, but later on tonight, you get the Dodgers up. You got any action on that game?
Yeah, I actually like the Dodgers a lot tonight. I actually like them more on the run line, which is -1.5, but you're getting that at +130 on DraftKings Sportsbook. Every game that the Dodgers have won in the playoffs, they've won by over 5 runs. They're just like dismantling teams when they're winning at this point. And I think this is kind of a sneaky spot for them. They got Yamamoto, who's been really a big wild card in these playoffs. He had that really strong start against the Padres to knock them out of the series, but he also got pretty beat up by them earlier in that series. I think he's going to be okay against the Mets. What really worries me for the Mets is that they got Jose Quintana going tonight, and he is a sinker ball pitcher. Dude, the Dodgers absolutely annihilate sinker balls. So that's the big worry for me if you're backing the Mets tonight or thinking that, maybe they can even up this series. But big Dodgers tonight, -1.5 on the run line. That's my favorite play. And over, Joe, I love this bet, by the way. You can now bet total bases by teams on DraftKings Sportsbook. So over 11.5 total bases for the Dodgers. I love that play because there is nothing more frustrating than watching a team get a bunch of guys on base and then not score and thus losing your team total. This kind of takes the runs out of the equation. Just the bases, Joe, over at 11.5 total bases.
I like that. I mean, I'll bet on anything, right? How many times, how many seeds does somebody eat at first base? Like I'm in on that. How many bowling balls does Mookie Betts maybe have in his bag? I don't know. I would bet on all that. So, by the way, I've been this, because I got a boost tonight, right, for Thursday Night Football. DraftKings is offering that. It's not a plug. I'm just telling you that they're offering it.
It's facts.
I can opt in right this second. But I've been really in on. Last night I had anytime goal scorer in hockey. I took Hampus Lindholm plus 750. That was a good one. But I'm always looking for something greasy, Steve.
Yeah.
I mean, when I talk greasy, I mean I want like 700-800 on the odds. So we got 2 rookie quarterbacks going tonight.
Yeah.
In the NFL as we transition here with Steve Buchanan, the DraftKings. Joining us here on 98.5 The Sports Hub. So I'm looking for something real greasy tonight. And Skaz, I got to give him credit for this. I'm an anytime touchdown guy. So I'm going to go real greasy. You might remember this name. Lil Jordan Humphrey, anytime touchdown plus 1,200.
No, Joe, no. He's not playing anymore. He played on like 10% of their snaps last week. No. Did you place that yet?
No.
Don't do that.
Is he inactive yet? Because I don't know. I want something greasy, man. What do you got for me?
How about no touchdown score? That's like 40-1.
Whoa. Well, they just took the actually it's playoff. Yeah, plus 4,000 right now.
Yeah. I mean, I don't know. I mean, that's a really greasy sweat though, right? Because the whole game you're worried about that. You know what I'm doing though? No lie. And this obviously isn't like the big odds that you're looking for. I have a same game parlay. Both quarterbacks are throwing an interception.
Oh, I like it.
Right. So you take Rattler, who threw 2 in his debut last week. Bo Nix has 5 on the year, I think it was, and they've come in bunches. In 2 games, he's had 2 of them. But there's just so much. This game is just going to be such a slop fest. Doesn't it make sense that both these quarterbacks are going to throw an interception? So both of them, you have to take it individually over half an interception. That's at plus 172. So not great odds, but you add your boost and now we're talking a little bit. Now we get a little more, a little more juice on there. So that's what I like. I like both quarterbacks to throw an interception. I like that one tonight.
Well, just so you know, I just looked at the inactives. Lil Jordan's active.
I mean, listen, he's active. Active is a loose term, okay? He will be there. He will be in uniform. I don't know if he's going to be trotting onto the field much. That's the problem.
So when 2 rookie quarterbacks are going at it, I like your angle, right? Spencer Rattler actually went on a little heater, but obviously had turnovers. And when it comes to the Saints defense, I mean, they have to get at Bo Nix tonight. So I like your angle on that one. But, I kind of like the Broncos. They're 3-0 so far on the road this year. And, no Olave tonight, no Shaheed. I mean, is it going to be the Kamara show? Who else is going to see targets here?
Well, that's the thing, too. So, one of the first things I did was I bet, Kamara over receiving yards, which was at 35.5. I think it's at 36 now. Receptions was at 4.5. That seems pretty low. But I like the Saints on this one. I think I'm taking the Saints at plus 2.5. The other thing about this, Joe, is that the Broncos are down to their backup center. and he was allowing a lot of pressure on Bo Nix last week. And the Saints pass rush is not great, but again, this is just going to be such a mess. And I think that's going to be a factor in this game. So I kind of like the Saints just because when you put these two teams beside each other, the Saints have so many injuries, of course. No Taysom Hill, too, by the way. I believe he's inactive. So you got your three main guys out of there. But Kamara is by far the best player on this field, and they are going to get the ball, Alvin Kamara, whether it's through the air, on the ground. I think like his rush and receiving prop is at like 106.5 or whatever. So I'm siding with the Saints on this one here. I think they might be the better team barely because the Broncos are winning games defensively. They're not winning games offensively at all. But, I think you should know too, like in these games when they have like these super low totals of, 37, it's, less than a field goal spread here. Like usually you're probably going with the underdog. Would you not be?
So normally in this case I do, and a home dog, but I will say this,
right.
Thursday night home dogs have struggled.
Sure.
But the total's gone over. It's 37 tonight. I see slightly juiced up minus 112 at the moment. I just wonder if the two quarterbacks can put up those kind of numbers tonight. That's why I'll stay away.
Yeah, I mean, I would say if you're doing anything, I think this is a pretty decent prop game because, numbers are so low on a lot of these guys, like even like Javonte Williams, his receiving yards. I would think that's going to come into play a lot, too. I think he's at 17.5, pretty low number for somebody who's easily gone over that in 3 of the 5 games that they've played. So I like Williams' receiving yards, Kamara's receiving yards, but, in these games when we're forced to watch them because it's on prime time, you wouldn't normally be sitting down on a Sunday with a full slate of games and focusing on this one, but this is what we have tonight. I'm definitely shy on the total. I think it's going under, but I don't want to put money down on that. But I think I'm siding Saints and then Kamara. Those are really my big plays for tonight. And the 2 interceptions. Both quarterbacks are throwing an interception. I love that one.
I'm going to put it
Me
in.
too.
I'm going to take them both straight and then do the same game parlay.
Oh, there you go. I love it.
So that's how I roll. We're talking with Steve Buchanan. He of DraftKings. I have my DraftKings Sportsbook open right now. And what do I see here? I see Patriots +6 now versus the Jaguars. We have line movement. I don't know if this is you moving the lines or whatnot, but, I just, Steve, I am someone that is on the air, and when I see Drake May knee injury and that,
here we go.
Only one person says he had an MRI and nobody else confirms it.
Yep.
But there's nothing to see here. Just Drake May, knee injury on the injury report, full participant, but nothing to see here. Do you think that moved the line a little bit here today?
I mean, it was 5.5 like 20 minutes ago. So I would be surprised if that's what it was. You know what really got my attention of anything, Joe, is that so this report came out by, I'm not even going to name the source because the source does not need to be named. Apologies if he's a friend of the station.
None. I've been saying his name 5,000 times. Just I need somebody else, but nobody else will confirm it.
But what really caught my attention is that nobody else has really picked it up as even like a potential. Right? Like he's been, the knee's on there, but like nobody else has really run with the report. And that's what kind of has me like, maybe this is just really nothing. That's where I'm kind of at right now. But if you're going to give me 6 points for the Patriots against the Jaguars, like I will take that. The Jaguars have been favorites 3 times already this season, Joe. They're 0-3 against the spread in that scenario, and they failed to cover by almost 10 points in those games.
Oh boy.
They are getting annihilated. They're getting lit up. This is not the team from yesteryear, from what we saw last year. Travis Etienne is almost, I don't even know what's happened to him. Trevor Lawrence had one of his best games a couple weeks ago and then gets absolutely smoked by the Bears next week. There is nothing that makes me want to back the Jaguars as 6-point favorites. That is madness to me, even if they don't have Stevenson in this game, because I don't believe he practices again today. I think they leave tomorrow, so obviously a decision has to be made within the next 12 hours here or so. But I'm backing the Patriots. I liked them at 5.5. We're getting 6 now. That should be a gift, considered a gift at this point, because I was fully prepared for this to maybe fall back to 5. I got the 5.5, but if we're getting 6 now, I mean, I'll take that. Goodness gracious.
Well, why though? Like the Patriots are making changes. They've said. I mean, it looks like Jalen Polk's going to get less reps this week. Kayshon Boutte and Demario Douglas are your 2 top options right now. I mean, they Patriots have given up 190 yards on the ground in consecutive weeks. They have 4 weeks in a row now over 100 on the ground. I don't know. I still feel like there's talent on Jacksonville, and let's not forget their coach's job is on the line.
No, totally. But the talent, I think that Jacksonville, the talent has been there, but it's just they weren't able to always pull it all together at the same time. And I think that's what you kind of saw in the playoffs there. But let me pose this to you, Joe. So it's at 6 right now. What if I told you that 54% of the money and 55% of the bets are on the Patriots at +6?
Ooh, so the money is on the Patriots.
Right.
Huh.
Right.
Do you know rookie quarterbacks have not done well playing overseas? Except for last week.
Do you really put a lot of stock into that, though? Because I don't.
I
really don't.
I love trends. But you know what, though? Last week, it literally changes that opinion. You know what I mean? Like, Caleb Williams went in and did it.
Well, because that's why in some of these trends, there is so much noise on the internet that you really have to be picky and choosy about what you listen to and what you don't. I don't give a rat's what happened 3 years ago in London with the rookie quarterback. That does nothing for me in this situation. Different team, different circumstances. I want to know, what have you done for me lately? What has, the Patriots done for me lately? And even though they got smacked last week against the Texans, there was a lot to like last week about what you saw from Drake May. Granted, I would have liked to maybe not take 4 sacks in that game, but we got a lot of injuries we're dealing with here. You're going to have to deal with Trayvon Walker this week, who's by far been the best pass rusher on the Jaguars side, who doesn't really have a good pass rush to begin with, but he's by far the guy you have to worry about. But I liked what I saw from May, getting the ball to Douglas, getting the ball to Booty. Douglas, by the way, in a good spot this week in the slot. Slot receivers have done very well against the Jaguars. If you're looking to maybe do a prop bet this week, Douglas to go over his receiving yards or his receptions, I think it's at 3.5 or 4.5. Slot receivers are doing really well against Jacksonville. 41 catches on 57 targets, 3 touchdowns scored, and almost 400 yards. That has been a really soft spot in that Jacksonville defense. But I like what I've seen from Drake May. I feel a little bit rejuvenated about this offense, whereas I don't know how you could feel that way against Jacksonville, especially after the game they had 2 weeks ago and then the turnover and then have that performance against the Bears last week. So I'm pro Patriots. I like what I see from this offense, and I'm okay with it. If I lose to the Jaguars this week, hands up, fine. I was wrong. But in no scenario should the Jaguars be getting 6 points here.
All right, talking with Steve Buchanan. He is of DraftKings. I have people asking me, who is this man speaking? His name is Steve Buchanan. Put some respect on his name, damn it. Hey, I want to.
Is that a good thing or a bad thing?
No, I think it's positive because they like.
Oh, good.
You know what it is, Steve, and I'm being dead serious. Is that people are so used to listening to this radio station from 6 to 6 that they get like your typical news story of the day, a little bit of a, at night we actually give insight and we talk about betting. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Like for instance, we're all just hanging out, right? We're all just dudes on dudes, just hanging out, and we want to bet. So we're interested. I just had someone just ask me, hey, it looks like the cornerback for the Broncos is out tonight.
Yeah.
Surtain. What wide receiver do you like the most? Someone asked for Steve Buchanan.
Well, see, that would be a great question if the Saints were healthy, right? Because they're missing Olave, they're missing Shaheed, they're missing Taysom Hill, but it becomes really, really tough because we don't even know how where these guys are going to be lining up at this point. Like that's the problem, is that they're missing so many guys. But Bub Means is the guy you're probably looking for. Our guy Bub Means is probably the one that you're going to be targeting on the side for the Saints. Receptions is at 3.5, I believe it is. Again, and this is why I said this is a prop game. Really low numbers. You are not going to get a perceived wide receiver 1 have a reception over under of 3.5 on a normal basis. That's so low, and it's at almost even money on the over. So you're not going to get that type of numbers on guys normally. If these guys are out next week and Means is the number 1 guy, it's probably 4.5 and some juice maybe. So this is a good prop game. It's going to be ugly on the side. It's going to be ugly on the total. I think props is the way to go. But yeah, Bub Means is probably your guy here for this week.
This props list is like being at the Old Country buffet, right? You get like one plate of like fried food, one plate of like rice or pasta. You know what I mean? then your bread, and then you go up for like the cheesecake and then the ice cream. Like there's so many bets here. Now that we talked interceptions, I'm wondering if it's worth taking the Saints and Broncos D's to potentially score a touchdown tonight.
Oh, totally. I would absolutely see, and I would probably side with the Broncos on that side rather than the Saints, just because Rattler in his second start. We mentioned, the Broncos have been so good defensively. That's basically how they've won these games. Broncos anytime touchdown is 4-1. First touchdown, getting a little greedy here at 18-1. I don't mind that at all. Sprinkles here, lunch money on these. Don't go crazy, but this is the type of game where you're seeing, pick sixes or, scooping a score type deal. Like this is definitely those type of games. So 4-1 on Broncos. That's where I'd land on that one.
All right, man. Anything else going on with you? What's up? What's new?
Man, wrestling's been great. Roast beefs have been great. We're two PBD guys. Everything's been good for us.
Where are you going for beef these days?
I've kind of been expanding my horizons a little bit. I've been going to Athens lately a little bit. I
get 2 juniors from them.
2 juniors. Now, why do you do that?
Well, because I don't want the one big beef. I'd rather the 2. I'll eat 1 and then save 1 for later.
Okay, but Joe, I'm going to say something, and this is going to be groundbreaking. You can get the big one and cut it in half, and it's probably cheaper.
Nope. That's too much work. I don't know if you've heard, but I like to get real dirty when I eat my beef.
I understand. I understand.
I want it in my beard.
I still think you could do that with the bigger ones, though, too.
The reason why I love Jamie's, they're very good, is because it comes in the clamshell, though,
It does.
I like that top, that just pop it open.
I saw Jamie's closed a couple locations, by the way.
I know, man. I know.
That's very unfortunate. Hey, by the way, what are you doing this weekend? Are you busy this weekend?
I don't know. I'm working the London game on Sunday.
Well, Saturday night, UFO wrestling. I do
I
some
saw
play-by-play.
this. Yes, tell us about this.
Yeah, UFO wrestling on Saturday. Ironworkers at the local 7 in South Boston.
Anyone
wrestling
we know?
show.
Anyone we know partaking?
George Old. You know George Old?
I could look him up, but no, he's a local guy.
Yeah, he's done some AEW stuff. He's going to be on the show.
Oh, I know who he is. Yeah, I know who that is.
No, but that's Danny Picard. He's doing doing UFO wrestling.
Danny's doing wrestling? I thought he was doing golf.
Dude, he's doing wrestling and golf. Danny Picard is going everywhere, my friend.
So he's not doing like hot takes anymore.
He still does the hot takes too.
Oh, where? I haven't seen that.
He's got a podcast. He does a podcast.
Oh, really? I didn't know that.
Yeah.
Did you know
but UFO wrestling.
Did you know him from 10 Days too?
You know what I met him? I met him at the Fenway when they did the ice the first time, and we played the media hockey game together on the Fenway ice. Oh, yeah. That was fun.
So are you promoting wrestling now?
Dude, I do the play-by-play for UFO wrestling now.
Get out of here.
Yeah, I love it.
Well, you used to
absolutely love it.
Back in the day, you used to do the UFC before, or was it UFC or Combat? Weren't you doing something years ago like that?
I did some small stuff for WWE. If that's maybe what you're thinking of. But yeah, I mean, it was nothing big. It was nothing big. It was just a couple spots that we did for DraftKings. But I was with WWE. Yeah.
Wow.
Yeah, it was pretty cool, man.
What do you think's going to happen with Survivors? Do you think Brock Lesnar comes back?
Nope.
Really?
Nope. No, I think that ship has sailed.
There was a report last night that.
Yeah, but I've also saw some poo poos on that report too.
Ooh, boo poo.
Yeah.
What about Goldberg Gunther?
Oh, dude, I would. You know what? It was you. I saw you that you wanted that, and that is such a horrible take. I was just thinking in my head. Somebody said they wanted to see that.
It was me,
you, Joe. That's horrible.
You know why? Because it's quick and it's easy. It will be just the best 3 minutes of action we could have.
It sounds like you eating your junior beef.
Oh,
quick and easy.
One junior beef in the car, save the other one for later in the night. Well, I'm glad to hear that. Can I stream you doing this wrestling thing?
So it's on YouTube after the fact, but it's Saturday night. Ironworkers, Local 7 in South Boston, 6 p.m. $20, buy one, get one free ticket. You can go.
All right, everybody. Follow him on Twitter. Steve Buchanan, everybody. He's of DraftKings. Steve, always love having you on. You're always welcome on the show, bro.
Hey, man, anytime. We're two PBD dudes. We should do it more often.
We should do 2 dudes beefing.
I'll get the big beef. You get the two juniors for whatever reason.
What do you think of that? Two dudes beefing?
I'm in on that.
Is it better than the dudes? Is it better than the Dudes on Dudes podcast?
I think so.
So might have to save that one, Steve. Appreciate you, man. We'll catch up soon, dude.
All right, buddy. I'll talk to you later.
That's
Thanks.
Steve Buchanan and DraftKings. Two dudes beefing. Why is that making me laugh so much? Anyways, we'll figure so. Oh, guys, we got list talk. We have list talk. Yes, Celtics list talk coming up next here on the Sports Hub.
Sports Hub headlines.
Drake May gonna play. Fine at practice. Still on the injury report though. Nothing to see here. Football tonight though. Broncos and Saints. We just put in our
Back here, 98.5 The Sports Up.
I guess we'll have to do our list talk in a little bit, Skaz, because I want to give it its time, you know? I feel like we should give the Celtics some time. They open up on Tuesday, and this is your daily reminder that the Boston Celtics are your NBA champions. So we have dominated the conversation with Drake May and Patriots. And we are reliving the 20-year anniversary of the Red Sox being down 3-0 and then winning. Just to bring up another anniversary, Skaz, it's not on the date, but it's about the same time. It was October 26, 2007. Boston College was ranked 2 in the country. I don't know if you remember this. But BC was ranked 2nd in the country, led by Matt Ryan. Virginia Tech was 8th in the country, led by Sean Glennon. Glennon, is he still? He's not still in the NFL, is he? Remember Glennon with the big neck? But BC was down 10-0 after the third quarter. And Matt Ryan scored a touchdown in the fourth, and with 11 seconds left, scored a touchdown to Andre Callender in the back of the end zone to go up 14-10 and win the game. That happened in Blacksburg on a Thursday night football game. It was when the ACC was strong. I wrote an article about it at 985thesportsup.com if you want to read it, and I even put the play-by-play in there if you want to watch the whole thing develop. BC right now playing in Blacksburg tonight. And I know that Scott in Medford wanted to talk about it. What's up, Scott?
Yes, sir. I'm watching it right now, actually. This is truly the ACC title game, in my opinion, Murray. It's honestly just, it comes down to if you win this game, you put yourself right back into position to battle Miami later in the year.
And Virginia Tech almost did beat them, except for a strange call.
Right. And obviously Miami, even though they're winning these games, they obviously struggled, down in Cal. That game, that was a crazy comeback. But I think they're a little vulnerable. I think BC, this team, between defense and everything, can really battle them down the stretch.
My thing with BC this year is they have a really, really better offensive line, but a good pass rush. But last year, Castellanos had 10 touchdowns rushing. I know he's been dealing with an injury. I think he needs to run the ball a little bit more.
Right. It comes down to, too, I also, come off of that, this was a drive down to Seabrook and place an absolute house and home on this game. I took them spread, but as I'm watching it live, Murray, they just fumbled.
Yes, not good. Thank you, Scott. Blacksburg's always a tough place to play, man. Yep, BC fumble on a pitch on a 3rd and 1. Bill O'Brien, suspect. We got in or out coming up next here on the Sports Hub.
What's it gonna be, McFly? Are you in or out?
More Joe Murray. Indeed, I'm the best. Success.
Is Pedro the president?
Maybe he's like the principal now or something.
Do we get a Rex Kwon Do? I don't know if I ever told you the story, Skaz. Obviously, Connecticut School of Broadcasting, they wanted us to do like some sort of impersonation. And so people like talked with like a country accent or a British accent, you know what I mean? Like, you know, people did characters. Do you know what I did? Joe Kwon Do. And I talked like Rex from Rex Kwon Do the entire commercial. Do you want to be jacked like me? Joe Kwon Do.
Would love to find that out.
It's somewhere. It's on a zip drive, I bet, somewhere in the world. But yeah, I did the whole. Nobody, and some people were like, I don't get it. I was like, Rex Kwon Do, Napoleon Dynamite, and everyone's like, and I was like, just forget it. But they liked it.
You put the effort in.
Nice job, Joe. It wasn't the British accent or whatever, but Joe Kwon Do, yeah, that was a Connecticut School of Broadcasting 2007. I'll look for that.
I was going to say, I'd appreciate if you did a little digging there.
I got to look. It's on a zip drive, so I'll have to. You think I look like this with Scarlo over there?
All right, Joe.
Think I got pants like these? Sorry.
Might be able to do it word for word.
Really, though, what's Uncle Rico doing? Is Grandma still alive, or is she on doom buggies in the desert?
She's probably on a dune buggy.
Are they still eating tortillas? What's next?
All right, Joe, we'll head to the WWE for this one. WWE has discussed removing a member from the Judgment Day. Joe Murray, are you in or out?
Okay, this brings up something. Factions. I saw something today that the greatest faction of all time was Evolution, which was Ric Flair, Triple H, Randy Orton, and Batista. By the way, see that promo?
Pretty good promo.
I got to admit.
I can still cut a promo.
I saw it live. I just happened to turn. It was, who's Jimmy Kimmel? Whatever. Someone's got to go, huh? It's probably Carlito, but I hope it's Finn Balor. Time to set Finn free. Time to set him free. Best faction of all time, though? It's got to be NWO. There was so many of them. We still wear the shirts. DX was good, though. How many people still say suck it? They keep them. Some of them are dead, though, so I think a lot of NWO's dead, too. Oh, jeez. It's got morbid real quick.
All right, Joe, we'll head to the movies for our next couple. It was announced that we will be getting a Mr. Irrelevant movie on John Tuggle, the man who was drafted with the last overall pick in the 1983 draft. Joe Murray, are you in or out on a John Tuggle Mr. Irrelevant movie?
So I'm in, but you know what I want? I want more Mr. Irrelevance. Like, will they mention Brock Purdy?
Like almost like what Netflix did with the starting five. Like just give us different stories, different perspectives.
The Patriots had a guy named Marty Moore who played linebacker and was actually a contributor. He was Mr. Irrelevant in 95, maybe? I can't remember what year it was. It was in the 90s, Bill Parcells. But, yeah, I mean, Mr. Irrelevant is, supposed to be a bad term. But I'm sure if we went over the last 10 years, the last person drafted, bet you there's a better hit rate than we think. Maybe that could be an article for Joe. Our intern, Joe Madero. So, by the way, I got to give him a shout out. He did a great graphic for us today. And once we figure out how to do graphics, we're going to be dangerous. You watch. And you know what else Joe had, too? See that Celtics jacket he had? He said it was from his dad from the 80s. It was like a Celtics jacket, like the old green ones. They weren't warm-ups, but it was black. Oh! It was sweet. I wonder where I could get one of those in a 4X. Think they were making 4Xs back then? What did they do? Just put two jackets in half back then? Or just make a shower curtain? Never mind. Go ahead.
All right, Joe, we'll wrap up with this one tonight. We're getting another remake in the movies. We're getting a Running Man remake from Stephen King. But it will be Glenn Powell playing opposite Josh Brolin. Josh Brolin will be the villain.
Like this.
Joe Murray, are you in or out on a new Running Man? Couple of hunks.
Let's get some hunks. Dudes on dudes.
A lot of dudes on dudes.
You know what? I'm kind of in. Stephen, I'm in. I mean, if it came out as like a promo, like, hey, it's coming out, it's got to be good. So I'm in. Hunks. People in the chat are always just the best, aren't they? Joey got a shout out. Our intern. I keep calling him Joe. He actually goes by Joey. Did you know that? He has a little cup that says Joey on it.
Yeah, I have seen that.
Joey.
Were you ever a Joey?
Yeah.
As a kid, yeah.
No, Joey. I'm either Joey Murr, Joe. What? Yeah, Joe.
I know Joey Murr, but I just feel like I don't really hear people call you.
Ladies call me Joey.
Joey.
That sounded wicked. No, I get Joey as like little kids, Uncle Joey.
I got you. Yeah.
But when it comes to life, I'm Joe. You can call me Murray if you want. Just don't call me Joseph. Out
on Joseph.
No. Who's Joseph? You know what else I don't like? Mr. Murray. Don't like that either. Like when someone calls me sir, I'm like, no. I got a haircut.
Chief.
I got a haircut today, and this guy goes, how old are you, like 30? I go, dude, I'm 42. And he goes, you don't have a lot of gray hairs. I said, thank you. And I hope they didn't jinx me now. You know, what do you do one day, Skaz, when it's just all goes? What do I do?
Just let it go.
Do I just let it like
I
Santa
think you
Claus
just
it?
let it go. Salt and pepper.
Joey Claus?
Joey Claus.
What else we got?
That is going to do it for a Thursday night edition of In or Out. Not looking good for BC so far, Joe.
Not. I was issued something from the morning show. Should I wait for musings?
That is up to you. I have no idea what it is.
We'll wait for musings. We'll hit the headline here, and we got bets for tonight. We'll do it next year on the Sports Hub.
WBC FM and HD Boston.
Patriots!
From the opening kickoff to the final play.
Touchdown!
Your home of the pass. 98.5. The Sports Hub. Beasley Media Group Station. Sports Hub headlines.
All right, Patriots going to be heading to London to take on the Jacksonville Jaguars, but they'll do it without Vidarian Lowe, who had an MRI, which was confirmed. They won't be making the trip, but Drake May will be. Football tonight just about to begin. Broncos and Saints. 2.5 right now is the line. BC down 14-0 to Virginia Tech right now in the second quarter. And the Yankees just took a 6-5 lead after back-to-back home runs from Aaron. What is it?
4-3.
4-3. Oh, my fault. Sorry. 4-3. It was Aaron Judge and then Giancarlo Stanton back-to-back homers. Mets Dodgers tonight. Headlines, they are brought to you by Valvoline Innocent Oil Change. Enjoy quick and convenient vehicle maintenance. Visit NewEnglandOilChange.com for 15% off your next draft oil change at Valvoline Innocent Oil Change, now open in Franklin, Billerica, and Peabody. I'm Joe Murray. Next update soon.
Get the app.
There's the potential there for big stuff.
98.5 The Sports Hub app. Get the app.
Goes leading rusher, I think, their last 2 or 3 weeks, and that doesn't seem like a recipe for success. I know the Saints started the season hot and have really fallen off since, but I don't know. Drew Brees in the building, at home, short week, place is fired up. Sean Payton back to New Orleans. I don't know. It feels like a Saints win.
All right, this is what we got so far. Both quarterbacks to throw an interception. Both defenses for an anytime touchdown. Okay? I'll do one more long shot. Let's go Mason Tipton with a touchdown tonight. Who? Yep. Mason Tipton with a touchdown. And I really will you let me take little Jordan Humphrey?
That one really piqued your interest pregame.
I'm doing it.
Or pre-show, I should say.
If I put $10 on it, I win $120. That to me sounds like a shot. So here we go. Lil Jordan Humphrey, everybody. We're in. So I'm going to stay away from his side for now. Maybe I'll touch something at halftime. So there we go. Kickoff just about to take place in just a few minutes. But I did want to get into this Celtics top 100 list. Where do you think the Celtics rank on the top 100? We'll get into that coming up here on the other side. I'm Joe Murray. We got Skaz here as well. 98.5 The Sports Hub.
Don't go anywhere. There's more Joe Murray. On the way on 98.
right, back here at 98.5 The Sports Hub. What channel is this game on?
Is it on Amazon again? Jeez, I hate that. All right, well, BC's just fumbled again. They stink. BC stinks again, but who knows? Anything can happen in the second half. And we do have football now underway, so if you want to react to anything tonight, we are here until 10 o'clock. Broncos have the football. Bo Nix moving the ball down the field. No score right now. 13 minutes to go in that one. List talk. I love a good list. Oh, do I love a good list. So ESPN has come out with their top 100 list in the NBA. So we've done this before with some others. I know the Action Network. I think, would they have Jaylen Brown around, was it 34 or 44? I couldn't remember which one. But I feel like at least this list is much better. This is the NBA rank finale. Who claims number one on the studded top 10, excuse me. And I was reading this, of course. ESPN came out with their top 100. So let me give you the top 10. All right, Skaz, and I want your thoughts on this one. Anthony Edwards, sorry. Anthony Edwards comes in. Let me start this over. Top 10 ESPN list. Anthony Edwards of the Minnesota Timberwolves comes in at 10. Last year, he was ranked at 13. Number 9, Kevin Durant, Phoenix Suns. Last year, he was 7th. This year, he is 9th. Number 8, Joel Embiid. I won't play back-to-back games. Last year was ranked 3, dropped to 8. Number 7, LeBron James of the Lakers. Last year his rank was 9. This year it's 7. He went up somehow. Number 6, Steph Curry of the Golden State Warriors. Last year he was ranked 5th. This year, 6th. Number 5, Jason Tatum of the Boston Celtics. Biggest question mark for 24-25? It's weird to ask a top 5 player, that's at another level of Tatum's game. Can he be an elite player? Did he finally got over the hump? All that. But free throw attempts per game. Tatum saw his free throw attempts rise steadily over 6 years in a row at 8.4. Last year went down to 6.7. Everyone saw their stats take a hit. If Tatum can increase his trips to the line, it could boon himself in the Celtics offense. Boon. There you go. Number 4, SGA, Shai Gilgeous-Alexander of the Thunder. Number 3, Giannis Antetokounmpo. Last year, he was number 1. Number 2, Luka Doncic, who the Celtics beat in the NBA Finals. And number 1, Nikola Jokic. So before I tell you the rest of the Celtics guys, do you have a list? Any disagreement with that top 10 list?
I mean, no major gripes. It's kind of, Steph, LeBron, and KD being in there is, a testament to them at their age, still playing at the level they play at. I think on a nightly basis, you might be able to argue that KD gives you, more than Steph at times. I'm also not of the belief that SGA is a better player than Jason Tatum.
Although I do think he was probably more of an MVP candidate.
That's something I also push back on, but I get it.
No, best player in the best team should be considered. But SGA on that team was very good.
Okay, but that team is also loaded.
That's
People
true.
gloss over that. Like, that team is loaded with talent. Like, guys that were drafted very high, guys that are elite players at their positions. I think SGA is awesome. I like SGA a lot. I just don't think he is a better all-around basketball player than Tatum. But no, I have no real gripes with this list. I think Jokic is the best player in the world. But I am, at the end of the season, is Victor Wembanyama on this list? That's what I'll be interested in.
Okay. Did you notice Anthony Edwards at number 10? Would you put Anthony Edwards over Jaylen Brown?
That's tough. I mean, he probably is. Yeah. It all depends on the team, though, and the fit and all that. But Anthony Edwards can go out on a nightly basis and give you more points than Jaylen Brown. But Jaylen Brown's all-around game, I think, is probably better than Anthony Edwards. But I get what ESPN is doing here. Jaylen Brown was just the Finals MVP, though. So if you want to have Jaylen over and, I have absolutely no issues with that.
Jaylen Brown comes in at 14 on the top ESPN list.
I think that's a lot closer to where he should be than, 47th? Our buddy Brandon Anderson had him ranked at or whatever?
Not our buddy. Don't call me buddy.
Yeah, don't call me. I'm not your buddy, pal.
What was his name again? Brandon.
I believe it was Brandon Anderson.
Brandon, don't call me buddy Anderson. All right. So after Tatum at 5 and Brown at 14, who's the next best player in the Celtics?
When healthy?
In my opinion, it's Kristaps Porzingis.
When healthy, yes.
But no. Do you know who falls up on this list?
I would imagine it's Derek White.
Drew Holiday, 36.
I mean, there were times in the playoffs where he was dictating the flow of the game, making huge steals in that Indiana series. So a healthy Drew Holiday, yeah, he's probably a top 40 player in the NBA, but I just think the Celtics managed him perfectly last year. And on this Celtics team, Derek White might be more important, but I think it might be a little too high. Or a little too low, I guess I should say.
Okay. Do you think Derek White's a top 40 player in the NBA?
I would say he's a top 50 player for sure.
He comes in at number 39. So Holiday and White right back to back. So I think Porzingis is a top 30 player when healthy. He comes in at 46. Huh. That's a fall for him. But is Kristaps Porzingis a top 50 player in the NBA? I think we all agree yes. He's coming in at 46. And then one other in the top 100 of ESPN's list. Number 96. Do you know who it is, guys?
I do, Joe. I do. I was happy to see this.
Al Horford.
Old man Al. Still hanging inside the top 100.
Top 100 player in the league still.
Joe, can I ask you a question about Al Horford?
Yeah.
Was Al Horford more impactful or better for the Celtics before he started shooting the three or after he started shooting the three?
I would definitely say the three. Yeah, because they expected him to be this guy he wasn't. He was never a banger. He never was. Zaza Pachulia was the banger when he was in Atlanta. Like, I hate that about some players. Like, Garnett, great player, right? Always wanted to be a power forward. Why? Because he could go up against a power forward, where the center would be the banger, right? KG was one of the best perimeter, in the post elbow. I even saw Sam, what was his name? Sam Jones, who played for the Celtics, literally saw Sam Jones and with my own eyes say to Kevin Garnett, "You're the best shooter I've ever seen for a big man." Sam Jones said that to Kevin Garnett. But yes, Kevin Garnett, when he backed you down, he'd hit that shot all the time. But he needed perk. He always needed someone big next to him. I think it's the same thing for Horford. I think Horford spread the floor. He's a better asset, and he worked on that shot. I mean, if you look at a player's career, I've always brought up Jason Kidd as a guy who progressed as a three-point shooter. This guy was a big man.
What about Brook Lopez? You think the Bucks look better when Brook Lopez is shooting the three?
He saved his career shooting the three.
I just have been hearing that.
Are you saying that the three is not good, Skaz? Is that what you're saying?
That is not what I'm saying.
Sorry, I got to turn this up a little bit.
That's what I've heard. I've heard it ruins people offensively if they're not playing, close to the basket.
So you think closer to the basket would help Al Horford?
I am not of that belief, Joe, but I've heard that, the Celtics offense and how they shoot too many threes has hindered guys offensively, and I just wonder if that hurt Al Horford when he came back here.
Yeah, I think I heard that about Jason Tatum. How he'd be a better player if he was inside the paint. But, if the preseason means anything, Joe Math. 38.8, is that good?
It's not bad.
38.8 percentage. somebody plays away from the basket and improves. Imagine. I mean, Giannis wants to play outside but can't shoot. Russell Westbrook can't shoot anymore.
You think it would have helped his career if he could have shot the three a little bit?
Yeah, like James Harden can survive. PJ Tucker can survive, right? Guys can survive. The Morris brothers can survive. Why? They can shoot. I'm not saying they're great at it, but that's how they survive in the league. You know, that's what happened to Blake Griffin, if you really want to look at it. Once Blake Griffin couldn't jump anymore, what did he do? Became a three-point shooter. He's a perfect example. But Horford's like the epitome of a guy that was a power forward, who started shooting the three. They sent him out of town, and then the second they could move on from Kemba Walker, they did. For Al Horford. 96 on the list. I wonder if any other Celtics pop up on like the 150 list or whatever. Who else would actually?
Hauser, maybe? I don't
Pritchard?
know.
Who's better, Pritchard or Hauser?
I think Hauser is a more complete basketball player.
By the way, where did Hauser go to college? Virginia. What happened to their coach today?
Yeah, kind of a shocker in the college basketball world. Tony Bennett retiring. So a lot of speculation out there that he wanted to make sure one of the guys on his staff was going to be his replacement, but Tony Bennett seems like a guy that would have enough pull with Virginia to pretty much name his replacement. If he left at the end of the season, it's just college basketball season is right around the corner. And we've had, Coach K, Roy, Jay Wright, like tons of guys step away. There's not a lot of, long-time college basketball coaches right now. Tony Bennett was kind of one of those last few guys, and for him to walk away right before the season starts, that's a big one in the college basketball world.
You think people are going to watch college football with Cooper Flag this year?
College basketball.
What did I say?
Football.
Whatever.
Yeah, I think just a small side note on the Cooper Flag thing that I mentioned to you off air.
Yeah, I was going to mention this.
Kawhi Leonard is out. Shocker. To start the year. And you have to wonder how happy James Harden is still on the Clippers, correct?
Yes.
You think he's going to be happy with that roster without Kawhi Leonard?
Well, there's no Paul George there, right?
No Paul George.
Who is even on LA anyway? Is Ty Lue still the coach?
So where I'm going with this is that's one of the worst rosters in the league outside of, I think Zubac might still be there, but.
Yeah, Zubac's there. Oh, Bones Highland.
Yeah, a guy that.
Terrence Mann.
Should have just.
Nicholas Batum still going.
Yeah.
Derek Jones.
Yeah, so
Norman Powell.
As I was saying, not a very good roster. And you think if Kawhi's out for a while, James Harden starts to get aggravated there and ask out. The Oklahoma City Thunder, I believe, own the Clippers' first-round pick this year. That is a team, like we just mentioned, that is already loaded with high draft picks. Could just be a local guy, Sam Presti, getting another top 15 pick down in Oklahoma City.
Please ask Skaz why SGA is an MVP candidate. You just named 3 Celtics in top 50. And it's Skaz, S-C-A-Z, not Skaggs.
You think Chet's inside the top 50? I would imagine he is.
I think he is. Ooh, there's 2. Who else would be on the Thunder? Well, Josh Giddey's gone.
Chet Holmgren is number 32. I would say that's a pretty good teammate to have.
He's pretty good. So 3 and 32.
How about 44, Jalen Williams? So that's 3 guys inside the top 50. I would say that's a pretty good supporting cast, no?
Mm-hmm. Was Alex Caruso in the top 100? I hated that trade, by the way. Caruso for Giddey? What the hell were they doing? Hey, by the way, announcement. Opening night is Tuesday. So we are going to have extended coverage until midnight, and we will be joined post-game by Cerrone Battle again this year.
The return.
So I'm not kissing Cerrone's ass, but I think he might be one of the best analysts we have in the market. For real, when it comes to NBA basketball. He's great at football, too, and baseball. So, yes, Cerrone will be back for post-game this year, and our first game will be on Tuesday night, which is Banner 18. You were Grandy today, I heard. Is that true? True story? Can you confirm it? Because I don't know. A lot of reporters don't want to confirm things these days.
Yes, I did see Sean today. Some exciting stuff for Celtics fans we're going to try and work on this year. Some more content.
Ooh.
With Sean and Max. I won't say anything yet.
Can we use
yes.
it?
Oh, of course we'll be able to use it.
Oh yeah.
Absolutely. But yes, some things in the works for the Celtics broadcast this year.
Mm-hmm. Okay. I like that. In on that. I like that. No clue what we're going to do next here, guys, unless you got something.
I was going to say, might have another Celtics announcement coming tomorrow as well, related. We'll
Whoa!
I'm not going to announce it yet, but yes, tomorrow.
I don't even know.
There will be you do know, but yes.
I do?
You do.
Probably better if you don't tell me. I'll spoil it.
I do remember you have a habit of doing that with movies.
Oh, man.
Joey spoils.
I was where was I? Dominican Republic. And I met this couple. And they're like, yeah, we're watching Sons of Anarchy or whatever. And I go, man, it really stinks what happened to Jax. And they were pissed. I had like 50 drinks.
How many years after the show? Like the show was off the air, I'm guessing, right?
It probably just ended like that spring.
That might be on you then. I was gonna try and give you a grace period.
Dude.
There.
When you go on like an all-inclusive vacation, they pump you with drinks. No, it's like an IV of booze. You know, I was drinking like the chocolate mudslide and like, here, try this, okay. Here, try this, okay. You ever had a hurricane? You ever gone to New Orleans? Oh my God, have 5 of those, and then I was a chatterbox. I was a chatty Joey. All right, who knows what we're doing next? We'll figure it out. We'll do that next. Here on 98.5 The Sports Hub.
Sports Hub headlines.
All right, college football underway right now, and things aren't looking good for the local team. Boston College trails 21-0 right now, 8 minutes to go in the second quarter. In the NFL, Broncos lead 3-0. 1,200. Forget who else I took. Took somebody else. So we have our eyes on that one right now. I wanted to just mention a story I saw that it's not the first time I've heard this regarding somebody wanting to play for the Patriots. So that's why I wanted to bring this up. But I'm sure people remember. A.J. Brown was literally crying when the Patriots didn't select him in the draft. They brought him in, they brought Deebo Samuel in, and they brought N'Keal Harry in. And I think we know what happened there. But he was legitimately upset because he wanted to play with Tom Brady. He wanted to play with Bill Belichick. And he talked about it recently. And I remember reading the story because it was on Marathon Monday because I was bringing up how maybe the Patriots have a shot. Maybe the Patriots have a shot at A.J. Brown, but instead he signed a big deal with with Philadelphia. So I read another story here. Nick Chubb, you guys remember him? Star running back at Georgia. Nick Chubb was disappointed he wasn't drafted by New England after he saw Isaiah Wynn and Sony Michel go to the Patriots. Just imagine that, everybody. The Patriots took Sony Michel and Isaiah Wynn instead of Nick Chubb. Nick Chubb said, man, y'all going to Foxborough with Tom and Bill? He was very upset about it. But just to think about this, where would the Patriots be if they had A.J. Brown and Nick Chubb? Players who wanted to play in New England. Wasn't the story that young players didn't want to play for New England? Like, weren't we hearing that at times? Like, oh, it's too tough, it's too hard to play. Here you are, people literally emotional, not playing for the Patriots. Emotional. And just hearing this Nick Chubb story, it really throws more salt in the wound about the draft in that year's class. I think we've talked about it twice this week, where N'Keal Harry was selected, Joanne Williams, and then Chase Winovich. Those were the three that were taken. Woof. Woof. Today I read an article from Dan Shaughnessy that said Bill Belichick should take some blame. Listen, I think at some point Belichick will say, hey, I got fired. Because he did. Because Kraft said it yesterday. At some point I think he'll say it. But right now he's stubborn. Right now he won't. Right now he'll say quarterbacks don't play defense. He'll do all those things. But I do think that the Krafts need to take more accountability than anybody. Maybe they kept Bill a little bit too long. Maybe it was on them not checking the checks and balances. So if I hear someone else blame Bill Belichick about the Patriots' 1-5 start this year, I will lose my mind. I will. But Bill Belichick has yet to be accountable for his, and you know what? Why should he be? He's getting paid his $25 million. He's doing his underdog and his let's go and the Patricias and all that. I don't think he owes us anything, by the way. He doesn't owe us any. Bill Belichick doesn't owe us anything. But some of these players, Nick Chubb, A.J. Brown, maybe they thought the Patriots owed them something. We got the musings. Murray's musings coming up next here on 98.5 The Sports Hub.
More Joe Murray coming up on The Sports Hub.
Random take, Murray's got all sorts of stuff in the world unrelated to sports. So sit back, relax, and get your mind in the game and listen to the words of a grown man complaining.
All right, back here, 98.5 The Sports Hub. I'm Joe Martin. Guys, I might need your help, though, because, you know, I think you got the magic hands back there. But I was texted something last night from Fred. You remember what it was? Remember the word that he said, that he texted me?
I do, yes. It was dire places to have movements. That's content, baby. That is content.
I hope I didn't spoil it for anybody.
You asked me to guess. I apologize if my guess was too on the nose, but kind of cornered me there, Joe. I didn't really know what else you expected me to guess, but no, I'm very interested in learning about that list.
Yes. It was very detailed. It came from Adam 12, not from Nick, because if Nick sent it to me, I probably wouldn't have done it. Riz is in the chat. He knows what's up. But yeah, I might need your help on a little. It's all right. I don't know how to save anything.
I got you.
It's done. I just need to now edit, cut, and mix down.
I got you.
Okay. Creative. Very creative genius over here.
I've been wondering what you've been cooking.
No, I've been air frying back there. In the kitchen wrist, twisted like a stir fry. We'll get to birthdays in a minute. Anything bothering you? What's going on? How's your rides been lately?
Rides have been, fine. It is what it is. It hasn't been too bad. Last Friday was brutal, but it was a holiday, so, to be expected. But no, pretty good, Joe. Celtics season right around the corner. I got a lot of exciting Celtics stuff on the way. I'm doing pretty good. How you doing?
Great. My bets are hitting. BC's down 21-0. Horrid. Oh, wow. Here we go.
So, Joe, are you I don't want to spoil your list at all, but so you're a gentleman that will go anywhere?
Actually, no.
Okay, you like home field advantage.
I'm a home field advantage guy, but you'll hear, when you edit this thing, you'll hear. So you might have to tune in tomorrow at 8:00 for that one. Did Joe take a bong rip? No, I've been in this second studio over there. I haven't done a bong rip in like 5, 10, maybe almost 10. I can't do a bong rip anymore, dude. I'm 40. I mean, I can hot box with God, but I can't do bong rips anymore. Courtney in the chat had the greatest line. Wow. I've never done that before, Courtney, but you know what? I'm interested. Brother Bluto, that reminds me of the Sandlot when everybody put the tobacco in their mouth and then got sick. Interception! Oh, I thought that was an interception. Oh, defensive touchdown! Yes! Yes! No! No! Defensive touchdown!
There's offsides on the defense.
No! No! It was a touchdown! BC now down 28-0, everybody.
Stephen A's favorite places, but is this similar?
A chess grandmaster gets disqualified from the Spanish championships for using his phone to give him moves while taking a dump. The Spanish team championship, whose honor division is currently playing for the title in the Spanish exclave in Africa, it's been overshadowed by a suspicion of cheating. A 22-year-old Ukrainian man who was playing chess for the Romanian Chess Federation since 2023 was excluded from the championship after 2 rounds. Both of his games' results were canceled. The man left his seat unusually. You ever saw had a little bit of higher class than this? Let's just start off with Eminem. How old is Eminem now?
Eminem is 52 years old, Joe.
He's 10 years older than me. Man, I remember, dude, I told you. I had that tape player. My buddy's basement. One day I heard, chicka, chicka, chicka. That was a great line. Abra, abra, cadabra.
Not a fan?
It's fine.
It's fine.
It's not good.
It's not what it was.
I like when he talked about getting beat up. Way before my baby daughter Haley, I was harassed daily by this fat kid named D'Angelo Bailey, an 8th grader who acted obnoxious because his father boxes, so every day he shoved me in the lockers. That was a hell of a... I still think he was better than Jay-Z. Fight me. Me and Leroy do this one. This is like an annual event. It's like Thanksgiving.
Oh, I've heard this.
Leroy and I, it's like Thanksgiving when we do Eminem, Jay-Z that we no longer mention anymore. Because I think
Eminem has a long history of going after.
Yes.
Said producer.
Said producer. Oh,
I believe when he did the Machine Gun Kelly diss track, there were some pretty scathing attacks of that said producer as well.
How did Machine Gun Kelly do after his raps?
Not well, Joe.
Who won the Kendrick Lamar Drake one? Do we know who won that one yet?
I think the internet has given it to Kendrick.
How do we know who wins? Is there a...
Who knows, Joe? We win. The late, great Norm Macdonald's birthday today. One of my favorites.
I love Norm. He ate all the lunches and Billy Madison.
Who eats 30 bagged lunches?
They got stoned out of their minds. Happy birthday to actor Michael McKean. George Wendt, 76 years old today. Alan Jackson, 66 years old today. Mark Gaddis, 58 years old today. Ziggy Marley. Who else? Felicity Jones, 41 years old.
It is one Mike Judge's 62nd birthday today.
Beavis and Butthead?
Beavis and Butthead.
Or King of the Hill? Bobby.
Both. Office Space.
Bobby. Do anything else?
Office Space.
Like
King
Office Space, the movie?
Beavis and Butthead.
He did with
that was Mike Judge.
Lumberg?
Yeah.
And he gets hypnotized?
With the stapler, Joe. His stapler.
He's stapler.
I believe he's the director of that.
To bring the place there.
Idiocracy, I think he directed as well.
Oh. What do I see here? Evil Knievel.
I got the Big Easy. It is Ernie L's birthday today.
Oh,
55 years old.
Good golfer. You know what's funny? Remember the other night you sent me this list of, hey, these are like the TikTok superstars, but we couldn't identify any of them.
Oh, yeah. What was that?
Let's see. Kind of. Wyclef Jean.
Beat me to it.
The Refugee All-Stars. I really liked his Gone Till November cover. And then I think he did a Chris Kirkpatrick and Eminem have the same birthday. How the hell did that happen? Chris Kirkpatrick to get your ass kicked? Wasn't that the line? How do they have the same birthday, those two? MMA last night, and here she is. I'm trying to do my best, Morgan Freeman. And you wanted the poster of Rita Hayworth. He put it on the wall every night. He looked at her. Yeah, Rita Hayworth. And then she'd do that thing with her hair, and everybody in the movie, they'd be like, hold on. And then she'd do that pop-up hair thing, and everyone went, woo! All the guys in jail. Why does the other mic guy always pop on every once in a while now? The solo mic just pops on. Is it when I breathe? Or when I sigh?
What do you mean? Oh, when you get a little loud, a little verbose.
It picks it up
Joe.
over there?
The other, even though it's not on, I wonder if somehow that's what's happening. Because it only seems to happen when we get a spicy Joe. But I've noticed that as well, where every once in a while you'll get really going and it'll just cut to the lone microphone.
See, John Enright's in there. He knows the Shawshank. See? Glad somebody picked up on that. It's my favorite movie, do you know that?
I did know that one.
That's my favorite. I like The Fugitive a lot. The One-Armed Man. I mean, this is like, think about it. The 90s were like popping, man. Pulp Fiction. Like, there was some banger. What was the Morgan Freeman and Brad Pitt 7? Oh, that was a good one.
I got one more birthday, Joe.
Okay, who we
The
got?
football one. Born on this day in 1924, Don Coryell.
Oh, one of the inventors of the spread offense. Someone goes, did I just hear you rapping to Eminem? Yes. I can rap probably the whole first album. Like start to finish, maybe.
You think you'd be starstruck by Eminem?
He wouldn't talk to me. What would I talk to him about?
Hey, man, big fan. That's all.
Hey,
That's all you need.
Hey, dude, big fan of yours. I colored my hair blonde because of you when I had hair. I'm trying to think of because I really like Stan. I think stuff on that one too, huh? Tears go cold, wondering why. Because that was good. He sounded like him, right? Dear Dave, or whatever his name was. Now that I think about it, rapper of all time is Biggie Smalls. My favorite rapper, Ice Cube, friend of the show.
Yeah.
Greatest producer of all time. Producer and rapper who controls the maestro. All right, we gotta go break. Just gotta go break. I'm Joe Murray here in the Sports Hub.
From the Town Fair Tire Studios, the Patriots.
Into the end zone!
Here.
Touchdown for the Patriots!
WBC FM.
Hey, you're done! All right, we need that little Jordan Humphrey touchdown. It's 6-0 right now. Broncos, 8 minutes to go in the first quarter. At halftime, Boston College. It's not good, everybody. $28-0 right now. Virginia Tech over BC. Bill O'Brien, just remember, is the quarterback, is the coach of Boston College. Just wanted to let everybody know that. What do we got going on in baseball right now? Oh, wow! The Cleveland came back to win 7-5. Big Christmas with the home run. What a nickname!
An absolute bomb,
dude.
From Big Christmas.
We need Big Christmas. What a nickname! We have a touchdown, Skaz. Who was it?
It was Javonte Williams, I believe.
Right now, the Broncos up 12-0 with the extra point. Good. 13-0 right now. And still waiting on Drake May, but he's going to play, it says. He was not limping or anything. I'm Joe Murray here on 98.5 The Sports Hub.
Listen to it, laugh at it, get mad at it, agree with it, argue about it. It is Boston Sports. Boston Sports. And it is all we do. 98.5 The Sports Hub.
All right, back here 98.5 The Sports Hub. There was more to that chess story that I didn't mention. But you got to be a real sicko to put a device up your butt. Like, you got to cheat that bad to put a device up your butt? Also, Jeff checking in. The greatest chess scandal of all time is Zach Morris faking to be Screech's opponent because Screech didn't have his lucky beret. Do you know who Screech's girlfriend was at that time? Donna Martin. I'll tell you, if you're not old enough. Donna Martin, 90210. Joe, never do the Morgan Freeman again. That was hysterically horrid. My neighbor's 55 and has never seen Shawshank. I mean, I could probably do a better Morgan Freeman, but I wasn't trying to really do a undie.
I mean,
what's another one that I can do pretty well? I can do a good Kermit. Kermit the Frog here. I don't know. Whatever.
Joey impressions.
Joe Quando?
Frank Caliendo over here.
No. Hey, guess who we're going to talk to next? John Serenes. Let's find out what's going on in the sports world. We'll do that next here on 98.5 The Sports Hub.
Don't go anywhere. There's more Joe Murray. On the way on 98.5 The Sports. gets you right through the night.
I actually spoke with women today.
On the Sports Hub.
All right, back here at 98.5 The Sports Hub. I'm Joe Murray. Here till 10 o'clock tonight. It's Metallica, so you know what that means. Let's go to the Volkswagen Dealers Expert Hotline right now. Welcome in John Serenes. He is from New England Football Journal. John, welcome to 98.5 The Sports Hub's Joe Murray Show. How are you?
I'm doing well. I'm a little disappointed that you didn't serenade me in by singing Fuel.
So give me fuel, give me fire, give me that which I desire. Ooh, yeah.
Way better than last week. See, that's more of a Hetfield right there than last week. Last week you sounded like you were constipated.
No, that's when I do Bob Dylan. See, that sounds kind of like my Bruce Springsteen. Yes.
I'm not a Springsteen guy, and I know a lot of people love him, but I just born in the USA.
Going down till my belly hurts. I'm gonna take a dump, and it's gonna really hurt.
Born to be constipated.
John,
I just can't. Maybe we were born to run.
Dude, if you listen tomorrow at 8 a.m., what we're doing right now is priceless. Like, Skaz, whatever me and him are doing right now is, like, perfect. I'm doing a bit for the morning show.
Nice.
And it might have something to do with bathrooms.
Well, I mean, reference Bruce Springsteen, because every time he sings, he sounds like he's trying to get a big one out, so...
Well, trying to get a big one out, I think Ben Volen may have done, huh? I mean, nobody else has it, dude. I've been asking everybody, was there an MRI on Drake May's knee? Drake May on an injury report with an E. I mean, it's like you know what it's like, John? It's like nothing to see here. It's just knee injury, to me, I am concerned. Your thoughts on Drake May showing up in the injury report?
I'm not surprised. I mean, he got the crap kicked out of him last week, so... When I saw that the other day, when I saw the email and the release, I'm like, okay, yeah, I'm not surprised he's on the injury report. I mean, he got crumpled up a couple of times, and that's not a surprise. And then after the game, he was hobbling a little bit there. I mean, he was banged up. I mean, you could tell it was his first regular season NFL start because he was moving like it was. So I'm not surprised, Joe. And I know people want to know. Well, if he had an MRI, that must mean it's somewhat serious, that there could be some damage here. And sure, there could be. But whether he did or he didn't, I'm not surprised he showed up on the injury report. None of us should be. With the offensive line he's playing behind, I would hazard to guess he's probably going to show up on it, if not every week, every other week for the rest of the season.
So, again, maybe I'm making a bigger deal out of it than I should be, but the fact they put him in a game and he got his butt whooped, and now he potentially has a knee thing you have to look out for. Was it the right move to play him last week?
Well, that's a good question. I mean, again, we talked about that last week. Is this the week to finally play him? Why didn't they play him the week before against a lesser defense? Why not play him this week against a lesser team/defense? I think it's a fair question. But look, the reality is, whether it's Drake May, Jacoby Brissett, again, I hate to belabor the point, playing behind that offensive line is going to hurt. You're in for a long 3 hours playing behind that group right now. And I think at the end of the day, we can debate whether it was the right move or not. You were going to have to play him eventually. But should you have done it against that defense, one of the best defenses in the league? They got to him 4 times. They routinely were in the Patriots' backfield in passing situations. I guess if hindsight's 20/20, I would say they probably should have either played him the week before, in which case he would have played last week anyway, or they probably should have waited until either this week or the Jets game. But what does it matter at this point? I don't think they were ever going to start him away from Gillette, to be honest with you, Joe. I think his first start was always going to be at home. So if he doesn't play last week, he probably starts against the Jets. That's a pretty good defense, too. So in many ways, the Patriots were kind of in a no-win situation in terms of when to play him when they made the decision to play him now.
All right, we're talking with John Serenes, works for New England Football Journal. Go check it out. College, high school, credentialed for the Patriots as well. So Jags week. The Jags give up 29 points per game. They have a terrible secondary. But I do think they have a lot of options offensively. And we know where the Patriots are right now when it comes to their offense. Can the Pats score over 21 points against that defense? And here's the deal. Patriots defense has been really bad, especially against the run. Gerard Mayo talked about making some changes to the starters. Can the Patriots hold Jacksonville to 22 points or less this week?
I think they can, but again, to your point, their struggles against the run have been well documented. That running game's pretty good. You got Travis Etienne, you got Tank Bigsby. They could be a problem. And that offensive line is a veteran group. They got guys that have underachieved, but guys that if they decide to come to play could give you problems up front as well in terms of their blocking schemes. Now, as far as can the Patriots score 21? Yeah, I mean, look, if they could figure out a way to block up that pass rush just enough for him to have time to get through a progression on a consistent basis, they could put 21 to 28 points on that defense. Absolutely. I mean, look, that secondary has struggled. You mentioned it. That Jacksonville pass rush has not been as advertised. Armstead hasn't been the difference maker they thought he was going to be when they signed him. The other Josh Allen, he's been okay. Trayvon Walker, he's been okay. They're not getting consistent pressure. So, yeah, this is one of those games where the offensive line might actually look decent, and it's one of those games where if they give Drake May the time that he needs to work through a progression and not have people on his face or at his feet, yes, I do think that they could score 21 to 28 points. But once again, as we've been saying week in and week out so far this season, it's going to come down to two things. Can they run the football offensively, and can they protect the quarterback? If they can do those two things on a consistent basis Sunday, yes, they can score 21-plus and win this game.
All right, John. I'm watching BC right now. It's not good. 28-0 right now. 9 minutes to go in the third.
Somebody needs to tell them to get off the bus because apparently they're still sitting on it.
So here's my take on this one. They had a bye week, bro. They played Virginia. Now, granted, it's a spot for me betting-wise. Back-to-back road games, I generally fade a team, but this was within a bye. Granted, they have Louisville next week, who's a high offensive team, right? And they have a big game this week, too. But I think Virginia Tech's been better than we've seen. Their 3 losses were against like Miami and some other good schools, Vanderbilt as well. So I think they're running into a train wreck. But Blacksburg's always a tough place to play. But I was reminded of that game back in 2007. And by the way, touchdown BC, Castellanos right now to number 0. Can't see who that was, but here they go. Trayshawn Ward with a touchdown. But remember 2007, Matt Ryan, Sean Glennon? Andre Callender back in the end zone, 11 seconds left?
Yep.
Those were the days, man.
Those were the days. That was the last great Boston college football season.
Yeah. But, yeah, that's not good. UMass, not good last week either.
No. And, by the way, I want to apologize to you, my friend. We go back to 2007. We've done radio for a long time. I knew I should have known better than to sit in this car and tell you a week ago that it might be okay to play UMass as a 27.5-point dog. That was a stupid call. It'll never happen again, I promise.
No. You know why? Because you gave your analysis, and people have the right to choose their side.
Fair.
I'm not buying that one. By the way, I bet little Jordan Humphrey to score a touchdown tonight at plus 1,200.
Well, they were up 13-0. Was he on the score sheet? I haven't looked.
He had a reception on the 9-yard line, but I wish it was on the touchdown. So
little Jordan came up a little short, it looks like.
He's always coming up a little short. Big games this week, man. In college football, last week was great. I had Oregon over Ohio State. By the way, do you think Dan Lanning stays at Oregon? Like, this guy to me is, if you want a coach to take over a program or even NFL for that matter, I love this guy. How did Alabama not even look at this guy?
Well, it's a fair question. I think if he does leave there, it would probably be for an elite-level SEC job or an elite-level Big Ten job like at Ohio State or Michigan. But if it's not a Georgia, an Ohio State, an Alabama, a Michigan, maybe a Florida or Tennessee, if Florida threw him a ton of money if they move on from Napier. But look, when you look at Oregon, that's a great job, man. And you're already in the Big Ten. You've got great facilities. You got Phil Knight's Nike money. You're not going to find too many jobs that are better than that. So I think if he does leave there ultimately, he could end up in the NFL. But as we've seen in recent years, the college head coach to the NFL head coach train has kind of slowed down. It's not as common anymore. So I can see him at Oregon for a while. You have a chance with those resources there to build a powerhouse. And with the expanded playoff now, they can be a playoff team every year. So I'd be surprised if he left at least anytime soon.
What do you think happens to Ryan Day?
Well, look, the heat is on. The heat is on, and the numbers aren't pretty. The numbers aren't pretty against Michigan. The numbers aren't pretty against top 5 opponents in bowl games. They need to at least, in my opinion, for him to save his job, they need to at least get to the Final Four and make the national championship game minimum. The goal is to win it, but after last week, I think the pressure's on. They spent a lot of money to bring in players. They brought in Chip Kelly to run the offense. You can't lose that game. You just can't. And I know a lot of people are going to blame Will Howard for not managing that end-of-game situation. You can't put that on the kid. Bottom line is, that's on the coaching staff. Ohio State should have won that game. But there's certainly going to be even more heat on him now and more eyes on him the rest of the way. He needs to beat Michigan this year. No question about that. And Michigan's down. If he doesn't beat him, could be his last game in Columbus.
Talking with John Serenes, New England Football Journal. I got to ask you about this Texas-Georgia game this week. I'm all over Georgia. Excuse me. I think Texas has been good. They're great. The number 5 when I bet fives. I hate fives. Not in on 5. I think Georgia beats Texas this week. I think they have to win this game. Granted, this game I believe is in Texas as well. So Georgia's defense needs to show up. I think that's been their biggest issue this year.
Yeah, I agree. Their defense has not been as good as they've been in the last few years. Kirby Smart, obviously one of the best defensive coaches in the country. But for me, if they're going to win this game, they're going to get off to a better start offensively. You go back to that Alabama game, they got off to a really slow start offensively. They fell behind early. They were able to come back in the second half and almost steal that game. But Carson Beck and this offense have to get off to a better start in this game, because if they don't, I don't think they come back on Texas like they did against Alabama. And their defense is super talented. I mean, you got Jonel Aguero starting for them, former St. John's Prep product. But for me, they're not playing defense at the level that we're accustomed to seeing from Georgia. They need to fix some things on defense, but it starts with that offense. Carson Beck, if we're to believe that this guy is a potential top 10, top 15 pick in next year's NFL draft, he's got to start playing like it in big games. They can't afford to get off to a slow start again.
Yep. And we saw what happened in that Alabama game, right? Like, that still, to me, was the game of the year.
Yeah, I agree.
We've got a couple of good ones this week. What do you guys got going on New England Football Journal this week?
Well, obviously, we're couch covering Boston College tonight. We'll be couch covering the Patriots on Sunday morning. We did not make the trip to London. I tried to see how much it would cost to send Stone over, but couldn't make it work. But as usual, we'll be at 5 or 6 games tomorrow night. We'll be at 5 or 6 games on Saturday. We've got some good games on Saturday locally in the Division I ranks, and you know, we're looking forward to that. You got UConn hosting Wake Forest. We'll be at that one. You got Holy Cross at Harvard. We'll be at that one. So plenty of good games. So we'll do what we do every weekend. We'll be at a bunch of games, as always. Make sure you check out anyfootballjournal.com and follow us along on social media. We'll have updates throughout the weekend. But, yeah, it's another busy football weekend for us at NEFJ.
Dude, who's the top recruit this year, you'd say, in high school, New England?
Top recruit in high school in New England? Well, I mean, I think when you look at some of the guys that have committed, obviously you got Bo McCormick from BB&N, Syracuse, Hardy Watts, lineman from Dexter Southfield. He's committed to Wisconsin. You got Micah Amadian-Zavarian, defensive lineman. He's committed to BC High. So those are some of the top guys in Massachusetts. And then, of course, you got other guys. You got Matty Augustine down in Connecticut. You got Ethan Long down in Connecticut. Will Black. Those are all prep school kids down in Connecticut. So plenty. It's a good year for linemen in New England, but plenty of talent playing Power 4 football out of New England next year.
Saw Henry Hasselbeck get some run last week.
He did. And I'll tell you, he's in a good spot there. You know what I mean? I think that he will have an opportunity to play there sooner than later. You hope, obviously, that it works out for him. UCLA has struggled this year in the first year of Deshaun Foster, but it's good to see. And I think Henry certainly showed, and he's proven the last 2 years at Zavarian, that he has what it takes to step in and play at a young age. Obviously, the son of Matt Hasselbeck, he's been well coached in his playing career, and I think that has paid dividends for him so far at UCLA. And by the way, great kid, great family.
We have John, who's a local caller. He wanted to ask about UConn football versus Wake Forest this week.
Listen, I've been saying this on our live stream, Joe, for the last few weeks. Inject that blue Kool-Aid in my veins, baby. I'm all in on UConn. I think they win this week. Wake Forest is a little down. They come in at 2-4. Dave Clawson, good coach, but UConn has been a beast at the rent this year. I think they continue it. I think ultimately they'll sweep this 6-game homestand, and they'll be bowl eligible coming out of it. And their schedule's not tough down the stretch. They could legitimately win 8, maybe even 9 games if they stay healthy and play at the level they played at the last few weeks. I think Jim Mora and that staff have done a tremendous job this season. Gordy Samus, first-year offensive coordinator, great job. And you know what's paying dividends for the Huskies? The job they did in the portal, going out, getting guys like T.J. Sheffield and Skylar Bell at receiver. Those guys have made a big difference. Nick Evers, Joe Fagnano, they've come in through the portal. So I'm very bullish on the Huskies. I think that this is an opportunity for them on Saturday to pick up a signature win this season for them.
Do you think Jim Mora gets another crack at a big school?
I think if he wants it, yeah. I mean, especially if they end up getting to a reputable bowl game this year and they win 8 games, I have a feeling that there'll be some schools that will certainly have him on their radar. He is in his early 60s, but when you look at Jim, you talk to Jim, guy looks like he's in his 40s. He's got a ton of energy. But I can also see Jim staying at UConn because he's a builder. He wants UConn football to get to the next level. He wants to be the guy that gets him into a conference, gets him to the next level. I can see him sticking around. I think he's done a terrific job with that program.
Well, to your point, he can build it with the portal there. Like, UConn's got money because of their basketball program.
UConn's got money, and, Joe, they have great facilities, man. They have terrific facilities, arguably the best in New England of any of the Power 4 schools.
I was going to say,
Group of 4 counting UMass.
That's not good for UMass, right? That's not good for BC. Now, Jim Mora and Bill O'Brien, that's a hell of a little recruiting. I mean, even Don Brown, for that matter, has got a lot of clout as well.
Yeah, absolutely. I mean, from a recruiting standpoint, it's great to see these guys match wits on the trail and compete for some of the same kids, although I do think that BC and UConn are competing for more 3-star and they're in the mix for more 4-star kids than UMass. But, yeah, I mean, all 3 guys are terrific recruiters, reputable guys. I mean, obviously, O'Brien and Mora have spent time in the NFL. They've been NFL head coaches. It's easy to sell those programs, especially if you want to play at the next level. And I think, I will say this. I think Mora and O'Brien's going to do this at BC, but I think Mora has done a really good job of using that as a selling point to get guys here, especially guys in the portal. That, hey, if you come here, we know what it takes to get you ready to play on Sundays. We can get you there if you come here, trust our process, play well. We'll prepare you to play at the next level. So it's an easy selling point when you've been a 2-time NFL head coach. I think it's helped them in recruiting.
All right, John. Appreciate you joining us. I know you got a game. You got games on Friday night. What do you got going on next week?
Well, I mean, this week we've got tomorrow night I'll be coaching. I'll be coaching for the King Philip Warriors. We're hosting the Taunton Tigers, looking to go 6-0 on the season. We got a big one next Friday night at Milford. They're a rival of ours, so busy week ahead between all the coverage stuff and the Patriots and coaching.
Are you taking the bus to Milford, or do you drive yourself?
Oh, no, Joe. At this point in my life, being a offensive analyst who shows up a couple of times a week, I don't do buses.
Okay.
I'm almost 50, Joe. My bus days are well behind me, my friend.
If you're in Milford, go to Rail Trail.
Oh, I've been to Rail Trail before. Fuck.
Oh, they got a great honey pepperoni pizza.
It's fantastic. Good call, man. I mean, great minds think alike. It's that Boston bond we have, brother. Rosie Hyde Park.
They also have a great Asian karaoke place called The Lotus.
The Lotus.
Oh, let me tell you, bro. You want to dive? It's like Tahiti times 5.
Tahiti's old school Dedham, though.
Still smells when I walk in there.
I love it.
Smells like desperation.
I haven't been to Tahiti in years.
Smells like desperation and heartbreak when I walk in there.
It has a little bit of a Mohegan Sun 3 in the morning vibe at like 5 in the afternoon.
It actually looks like the restaurant in Goodfellas. Like the seats and everything, you know, the one where he never pays his bill.
Yes.
Real quick.
The scene where he's talking about everybody as he's going through the bar, you know.
Yeah, and he goes, I'm funny. Funny how? Like funny like a clown? Like funny I amuse you? Like funny? Hey, real quick, since we've been on the phone, BC has scored 14 points. It's 28-14 right now.
Here we go.
Looks
the
like
Fighting O'Brien.
Might have been a fumble on the kick return here. I'm not sure yet.
I can only imagine, knowing Bill O'Brien, that like I know him and have gotten to know him through the years, I can only imagine what he said at halftime. If only to be a fly on the wall for that speech.
He's John Serenes, everyone. Check him out. New England Football Journal. Our friend John's happy that you brought up UConn football, so maybe we'll do it again next week.
We'll do it again next week. And remember, Joe, baby, we were born to run.
Thank you, John. Appreciate it.
Later, brother.
Later. Do you think any of those should go into the morning show? Did you hear it, Skaz?
I took a quick listen. I didn't. I want to see what they do with it. I don't want to spoil it for myself, Joe.
All right, everybody. Final headline of the night next.
Sports Hub headlines.
All right. What do we got going on right now? We got football, and BC trails 28-14 in the third quarter at halftime. Broncos 16, Saints 3. Patriots gearing up for the Jaguars this week. Fumble! All right, back here at 98.5 The Sports Hub. Boston College has scored 21 unanswered points. Like, what happened? Like, Skaz, 28-0 when you bet a team to win by a touchdown is like, go to bed. Just go to sleep. This is an indictment on Virginia Tech?
It's also a, like, college football. Like, it's college football. This is what happens. Like,
yeah, like,
no
you could go up 34-0, and then Georgia could take the lead and then lose to a 17-year-old freshman. Like, that could happen. I mean, do you think the Saints are going to come back down 16-3? Because you can bet it.
Spencer Rattler, Joe, is not good.
Yeah, last week he went off, though, huh? All right, right now it's the total is 36.5. There's 19 points. So what's that? 29. Ooh, that's a low total there. Still got those. We still have those interceptions that are waiting. Hey, Shane's in Rhode Island. Hi, Shane. Shane. Sorry, Shane. That was your shot, bro. So that's it, guys. We're back here tomorrow. Full show. We don't have any guests lined up.
Because 4th and Friday.
Yeah, we used our guests tonight.
Yeah, usually John is a Friday guest for us.
I wondered if we should do something Halloweenish tomorrow.
I have been looking at the schedule, and we don't have as many full shows as I thought before Halloween, so maybe we do a little Freaky Friday tomorrow.
We could also do the bit that I've been working on tonight, too.
Well, I'll leave that to the morning show. It was their idea.
Let me give you a hint. I named it Them Thrones. In as the Alice in Chains song, Them Bones. So, and this hour of the sports has been brought to us by Valvoline Instant Oil Change. Enjoy quick and convenient vehicle maintenance this month. Visit NewEnglandoilChange.com for 15% off your next drive-through oil change at Valvoline Instant Oil Change. Now open in Weymouth, Canton, Bedford, and Natick. We're back here tomorrow night, everybody. He's James Scaramuzzino. And I'm Joe Murray. You can also check me out. I'll be with the guys at Card Vault, 9 a.m. tomorrow on Fanatics Live. Besides that, see you guys at 6 p.m. tomorrow here on 98.5 The Sports Hub.
More Joe Murray coming up on The Sports Hub.